Hello, everyone. Sorry for the tardiness, but I will call this meeting back to order. Welcome to the PVUSD board meeting for Wednesday, March 5th, 2025. We have translation in Spanish. If you need the support, please see Urenia López. Bienvenidos a la Junta de la Mesa Directiva para las Escuelas de Valle de Pajaro. Tenemos traducción en español. Si necesitas este servicio, por favor, pasa con Urenia López hasta acá. This meeting will be live streamed and recorded. If somebody would like to speak to an item on the agenda, they must submit a speaker card and hand it to I would say down here Silvestre or down here Mr. Berman prior to the start of that agenda item. I do see that we have a lot of new faces here tonight, so I want to take a moment to establish some ground rules. There may be differences of opinions, sometimes strong differences, but please give those speaking the same respect that you would like to receive when you are speaking. This will allow everyone to be heard and for the board to conduct its necessary business. Okay. I will now move us on to the Pledge of Allegiance, and I will ask Student Trustee Esqueda to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, Trustee Esqueda. I am now going to move us on to item 3.3, our superintendent comments. Dr. Heather Contreras, our superintendent of schools, will make a few comments.
Good evening, everyone. Today, I would like to report out that we have embarked on creating a visionary network, which is a network of teachers and parents, as well as students, to examine what would be some best practices in PVUSD in terms of a learning environment for our students. This last week, I had a wonderful opportunity to work with 40 students, one of them being our student trustee, where they envisioned what a perfect learning environment would be to them and what would be the learner qualities. These students were so amazing. They actually had a articulation of what it would look like all the way from kindergarten up to high school. And we're really excited about how that will be incorporated into our practices for next year. I also went to several school sites this week. One of my site visits included working with students at Amesti. Amesti fifth graders met with me for a couple of hours, and I see Kat Bermudez because she was sitting with me for a period of time, and they also started describing what they thought a perfect learning environment would be for them. I think those posters are hanging in their staff room, and I'm very excited to see how we are able to articulate our student voice into the Visionary Network and how we move forward instruction for our students for next year. So exciting things. Claudia Monjares is leading that work and doing a great job, and I think that it has some real promising practices for next year. So thank you to the students who were involved with that, as well as to Claudia, who's doing a really nice job leading that work.
Thank you, and I will now move us on. Oh, we don't have any speakers to this comment? No. I will now move us on to item 3.4, our governing board comments. This is the opportunity for each board member to make a few comments, and I'm going to start this evening because I want to start with an apology. I'd like to start by apologizing to the community. During our last board meeting, unfortunately, I did feel a little attacked and bullied, and I did not respond in a way that I should have. I shut down, and on occasion, I even lashed out. So I should have stepped up and led the way that I know the way I know I can. I will do my best to be a better leader for this community and for our students. I also want to take this time to say a big thank you to Jenny M. For all your hard work that you have done for this district, working 2 positions and unimaginable hours. I know you did it because you care, and I just want to say thank you again, and I'm going to be saying thank you every time I see you. And now I will move on to Trustee Dr. Navarro. I will move on to Trustee Carrasco.
All right. Hi, everybody. I wanted to thank Ms. Magaña at Watsonville High School for inviting me in her classroom to talk about twice actually in the last 2 weeks to talk about higher education and art careers and what are the possibilities for students to be able to pursue an art career. And then thank you for all of the Wildcats who welcomed me. And then tomorrow I am going to be at Alianza Charter School from the morning till about 12 if you want to come say hi. And then I'll be at PV High after. So I don't have much to report from a week ago, but the other thing too is my email is working and I am working through it because I got a lot of emails, so I apologize.
Thank you. Trustee Turley?
Good evening, and thank you all for coming to the meeting and finding out what's going on with your schools. I would like to offer a personal apology to Jenny M. and thank her for all of the work that she's done for this district and trying to get us right, get our plane staying in the air so we're not. So thank you for that, and I'm really sorry that you decided you need to move on, but I understand. And I'd like to say a thank you to our superintendent, who's stepped out of the room, and her cabinet for sticking with us and helping us navigate. You know, 5 of us are brand new, been here less than 3 months, and we're trying to find our way, and we'll get there. So appreciate everyone's patience for that. I'd like to know if there's anyone here who doesn't care about public education. Is there anyone here who doesn't care about the students that we serve? Anybody? It was my guess that everybody who's here cares. And if we all come with that as a priority, that we really want our students to succeed and want them to do the best, how we get there, sometimes we have to figure our way. But as long as that's our #1 goal, I think we'll be okay. Is there anyone here who is not dealing with pain or loss or some kind of trauma? As I start that again. Anybody? No, I think we are all dealing in some way or have with some kind of pain, some kind of loss. You got to hold my hand when I do this, Gabe. Or some kind of trauma. So look to the people who are sitting next to you and ask if they're okay. Thanks, Gabe. Oh, I've been visiting schools and trying to get to all of them. It takes a bit of time. Oh, I'll wait. Thank you. And hugs are optional. My children say I need permission to hug people. So I visited Lynn Scott. I usually take to the, when I go to the charter schools, I take Michael Jones, who was a 30-year principal at Alianza, with me, just because he has that breadth of experience, and he's kind of fun to hang around with. So together we went to Alianza and Lynn Scott. I've also visited, by invitation, Aptos High, focusing on what's happening with their VAPA programs, and had a very nice meeting with those folks and found out all the good things that they are doing for their students. I visited Aptos Junior, focusing on their wellness center and their counselors. I have lined up time with Lakeview Middle, McQuitty, Watsonville Charter School of the Arts, and I'm working on some of the others, but those are the dates I have together so far. I think it's really important that the 7 of us spend time not just on the campuses in our own trustee area, but to branch out and find out what's happening with all of our schools, because we do represent the entire district.
You're good. Thank you. Thank you, Trustee Turley. Trustee Medina.
Awesome. Thank you all. First, want to give a shout out to Empower Watsonville Youth. I'll be on the panel for the Watsonville 29th event, so thank you all for inviting me to that. I'm looking forward to it. And shout out to the handful of people that showed up to our town hall on Sunday. It was late. It was cool, and we had a great discussion. So I appreciate those people who attended. I'm going to continue to do my lives on Sundays, since that seems a little bit more better for folks in terms of not having to be mobile or come to a set location. So just know that I'll be going live on Sundays at 8 p.m. on Instagram. And with that being said, I especially want to recognize Area 3 for attending the town hall. Your participation is vital, and I appreciate you sharing stories and concerns. These discussions keep us connected to the realities of our communities. Now, last night, during a joint session, our president claimed he had a mandate to cut programs like Medicaid. In response, Representative Al Green of Texas stood up and challenged this assertion, stating that the president lacked such a mandate. For his protest, Representative Green was escorted out of the House chambers and now faces potential censures. This incident highlights a troubling pattern. When we challenge those in power, we often face consequences like disciplinary action, criticism, and demands for respectability. These tactics are designed to silence dissent. However, our progress continues this week. This week, Zoe Saldana made history by becoming the first Latina of Dominican descent to win the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. And that is a huge accolade for our community, because I see so many of you who do theater, and I'm hoping that I see you on that Oscar stage one day accepting that award for Best Supporting Actor or Best Actor. So please take these two leaders, Al Green and Zoe Saldana, as a good framework of how to be a leader and how to really foster your creativity. So for those of you that have been in my email talking to me about the arts, you know very well that I will be backing you all up, because the arts helped me greatly through my career. I also want to thank the students who have emailed me sharing their experiences and ideas for improving our schools. Those aspiring to careers, the journey is challenging in any career that you're going to be going into, but it's immensely rewarding. And it helps you build character. Don't think, and I know I was kind of like this, especially a few of you that are going to start thinking about college pretty soon. You don't have to know what you want to do right now. That's fine. That's okay. For us to ask 18-year-olds what they want to do for the rest of their life is a system that we kind of need to change, all right? So if you can, do exposure programs, join summer programs if you can, to get a grasp if that's something that you really want to do for the rest of your life. So with that being said, thank you all for being here today. The fight is not easy, but it is always necessary, and it's even better when we do it together. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Trustee Medina. Trustee Navarro?
Good evening to my fellow board members and our public. I wanted to use my time to first acknowledge the resignation of our CBO, Jenny M. Jenny's departure is a tremendous loss for our district and brings me great concern, as a good CBO is hard to find, as someone emailed me, and she will be almost impossible to replace. Jenny has been working tirelessly for the last 10 months. I think you copied my remarks, Olivia. Doing the job of two people. We now have two positions to fill, both Jenny's current position as well as her former position as Director of Finance. Jenny, you have a tremendous work ethic, and it'll be difficult to find someone who's as invested in our district and its success. Jenny has been part of this PVUSD community for many years and is the bearer of bad news about where our district is headed. She suffered in the aftermath. Jenny, I wish you the best of luck in wherever you're going next. And please know I'm deeply saddened by your departure, and I'm deeply apologetic to how you were treated during the last few board meetings. Thank you for all you've done and for presenting complex information in a way we could all understand, and for being patient with all of our questions. And so we try to wrap our head around the challenges we face to remain fiscally solvent going forward. So thank you. Secondly, I would also like to apologize for reacting in the last board meeting. I teach my children that the only behavior and emotions that they can control are their own, and how you react is the only thing that's really truly within your control. After recurrent attacks, I reacted when I should have risen above and maintained my composure, and for that I accept responsibility and will do better going forward. Lastly, I wanted to update you on my activities. I've had a really busy week since the last board meeting. On Monday, I had the opportunity to meet with some of their labor partners and to hear their perspectives and concerns and what their roles are and going forward. A lot of familiar faces, as many other leadership are frequent attendees to these board meetings. I'm hopeful that our labor partners can find a way to communicate effectively and partner with the district leadership and keep our students at the forefront of their mission while understanding the challenges we face now and in the future. Monday, I also attended the SCZCSBA. I'm learning all the acronyms. Santa Cruz, California School Board Association meeting with Trustee Turley, and got to hear what board members in other school districts in the county are doing and how they're tackling the challenges they're facing. We also heard from Dr. Faris Sabah, County Superintendent of Schools, regarding state and federal updates and what we have coming down the pipeline in terms of at-risk federal funding for schools, in addition to how cuts to Medicaid or Medi-Cal here in California are going to affect our abilities to meet students' needs and how that might be really detrimental to our school budgets. There's a lot of uncertainty at both the state and local level regarding funding, which is clearly causing some concern. Being able to connect and learn from other districts and share ideas for solutions and challenges going forward is going to be vital to the mission of our district. I also registered for the CSBA Legislative Action Week next week in order to meet with our local leaders and advocate for our schools, our students, and our teachers. Advocating at the state and federal level for change is important, and I think where we can make a lot of difference. I look forward to face-to-face time with Assemblymember Don Addis, Speaker Robert Rivas, and Senator John Laird in addressing the needs and advocating for our communities at the state level. Yesterday, I also had the pleasure of being invited by student trustee Daniel Esqueda to the Superintendent's Inter-High Committee, where I got to hear concerns from our student representatives from the local high schools. We discussed their impressions from observing our board meetings, and Daniel and I tried to address misinformation, quell anxiety, and discussed how to lift up their voices going forward. We discussed what contributes to a quality education and what priorities can help students to be more successful. I look forward to participating in this again, as I think our students understand what works and what doesn't work, and their input is vital. It's imperative, I think, that we rethink how we engage students and provide them with the access to the resources they need to be successful in their next endeavors. And I want to thank Dr. Contreras for forming this forum for our students and giving them a meaningful seat at the table. Today, I also had the pleasure of visiting PV High and spent about 4.5 hours with Principal Todd Wilson touring the campus, meeting his office staff, visiting classrooms, and discussing visions for the future. I was able to meet and speak with some of the students to listen to their concerns. I so appreciate the time afforded to me, and I look forward to returning, in addition to reaching out to the various campuses to understand what they view as their strengths and challenges so that I could advocate in their behalf. I was very impressed with the staff engagement, relations with administration, and commitments to student safety and success. Every day that I continue to grow and learn from this position by getting direct feedback from constituents and sites allows me the framework to see how all the pieces fit together in the puzzle. I appreciate the welcoming nature of the students, the teachers, and site administrations for our district. We're the eyes and ears for our community, and we can use this information with our meetings, in our meetings with Dr. Contreras to help support her vision to improve student achievement and success. We owe it to our students and our community to get this right. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, Trustee Esqueda.
Thank you, everyone. 2 weeks ago, I had the privilege of conducting a site visit alongside Dr. Contreras. I want to extend my gratitude to PV High's ASB students for the thoughtful and engaging tour that they provided. It was a pleasure meeting both teachers and students, and I look forward to continuing these visits in the future. This past Friday, I attended the Watsonville Youth Leadership Mixer alongside Watsonville Mayor Maria Orozco and Santa Cruz County Supervisor Felipe Hernandez. Together, we shared our leadership journeys with local youth leaders, and I truly value the opportunity to participate in table discussions and icebreaker activities. Yesterday, I hosted the Superintendent's Inter-High Committee, and I'm proud to share that it was the most successful meeting to date. I was pleased to welcome Vice President Dr. Navarro as a guest to speak with these committee members, and I look forward to inviting more trustees moving forward. One of the key topics I wanted to address with the ASB students was the expectations students have for a board in our community. As a group, we collectively identified 3 core principles. The first one being mutual respect. So students emphasize that respect is the foundation of all meaningful discussions, and one student in particular noted that this is the foundation of it all. The second one was students believe that there are ways to effectively communicate viewpoints without being disrespectful or creating a tense environment. And the last one being openness to change. Students expressed that board and community members should approach issues with an open mind, actively listening to the perspectives of all stakeholders. I also learned that the previous board meeting was the first that many new school students had ever attended or watched, and many of them found the proceedings confusing and expressed a desire for adults to model the respect they wish to see in their own school environments. For site updates, New School recently elected a brand new ASB body and successfully hosted its first Valentine's Spirit Week and fundraiser. They also partnered with UCSC for a trip to Año Nuevo and established a female student group dedicated to fostering leadership and community among young women. Renaissance High students are revitalizing their campus trail, a space used for PE and counseling sessions. They've also been hosting FAFSA and college application workshops for the past 2 weeks, with most early graduates already completing their applications and preparing for their post-secondary plans. Aptos High wrapped up its winter sports season with the exception of the boys basketball team, which has advanced to the early rounds of the state championships, and planning for senior grad night and upcoming Spirit Weeks remains underway. Watsonville High is preparing for its spring fling dance scheduled for this Friday. Students are also planning prom, and last week honor roll certificates were distributed to recognize academic achievement. PV High students are organizing a dodgeball event and upcoming rally, and additionally the school will be hosting an open house featuring performances and a freshman orientation for prospective students. And one pressing issue that I would like to address involves the bathroom situation at both Watsonville and PV High. At Watsonville, bathrooms are locked during the first and last 10 minutes of class, while at PV High, they are locked for the first and last 15 minutes. While I understand that many schools implement policies limiting bathroom use at the start and end in class, physically locking the restrooms is completely unacceptable. Students should never be denied access to a basic necessity, and I urge all schools with this practice to immediately reconsider this moving forward. Thank you.
Good job, Trustee Esqueda. Thank you. Trustee Flynn.
Thank you, everybody. My email is up and working. I've been working hard to be quickly responding to everybody. I feel like I've moved from Pop Warner to Division I college football overnight. The platform larger and the hits harder, much harder. And some have been hard to recover from. I want to thank you all for your understanding and your patience. President Flores, nobody's lining up to take your job. And so I just want to acknowledge that, and you're in a hard position, and I think you handled yourself as well as you could and as you can. I appreciate your self-awareness, and yeah, you're just in a hard situation. So I would just want to acknowledge that I don't see anybody lining up trying to take your position. Heather, same. Dr. Contreras, I appreciate your hard work and the hours that you put in. And Jenny, if I could vote no on or not accept your resignation, I would. But I do accept your need for self-care, self-preservation, and self-advocacy. You've been in a hard position as well. Thank you for everything that you've done, and I'm really sorry we couldn't get it right. I want to also comment on what Trustee Medina spoke about, the State of the Union. There was an attack on our students in the sense of their safety around our undocumented and our trans students. And I want to make it very clear that I will do everything within my power to make sure that these students feel safe and protected at their sites. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Flynn. Okay, that concludes item 3.4. We will now move on to item 3.5, our Red Apple Award. And Alicia Jimenez, our PIO, is absent tonight. So Dr. Contreras will remain up here to do these, but I will step down to hand out the red apples.
Okay, good evening. So our Red Apple Award came along with the adoption of our board governance handbook and the core values for PVUSD. And our core values are excellence, integrity, resilience, empathy, unity, grace, courage, and faith. And so the Red Apple Awards are the ability for any employee in the district to nominate any other person in the district for exhibiting character traits that align with any of these core values. Every board meeting, we send out reminders to all employees that they can nominate someone, and every time in each of the categories, which is classified, certificated, or management, we have close to 100 nominees for each of these categories. We do ensure that every person who's nominated does get to know that they're nominated, so that we're sending goodwill out into the community and that people know that they're recognized for their good work. So it's been something that brings us joy. It brings, I think, many people joy to be recognized for the hard work that our employees do put in each and every day. And so this board meeting, our classified staff winner is Leticia Quintana. Leticia, are you here? Yes, Leticia, come on up. And Leticia, if you have any family members who would like to join you up here, you are free to bring them up. I know some people get shy for that. Okay. So Leticia is an instructional assistant in our migrant education program. Leticia always brings her A game when working with students. She has a wealth of expertise, and she knows how to get the best out of the students that she works with. And so she has been nominated because she exhibits the core value of excellence. And I've actually heard that she exhibits many more core values than that. So Leticia, congratulations. We really admire you, and we are so glad that you are part of our district. Thank you. And our certificated staff winner is Monica Nolan. Monica, are you here? Yes, Monica was actually a participant in our Inter-High Council yesterday. And we have a familiar face at our board meetings. Monica is a counselor at Rolling Heights Middle School. Monica goes up and beyond to support the students at Renaissance. Being an academic counselor for Renaissance and Virtual Academy, she goes to board meetings to advocate for them on her own personal time. She deeply cares for the students and shows it by her actions and words. Oh, and look at, she's also a beloved mother. She deeply cares for the students and shows it by her actions and words, and she illustrates what it is to be part of the PVUSD and the community, and she's nominated for the core value of integrity. I think it says Rolling Hills Middle School, but then it's Renaissance and Virtual Academy. Congratulations, Monica. Thank you. Thank you. And our administrative staff winner is Nancy Zuniga. Nancy. Wow, Nancy came with a fan club, apparently. Nancy is the Assistant Director of Expanded Learning, and Nancy was nominated for her unwavering dedication to providing students with crucial opportunities for credit recovery, enrichment, and academic supports. Nancy goes above and beyond to ensure that all students have the resources they need to succeed academically and personally. Her commitment to creating a positive and inclusive learning environment is evident in the innovative programs she implements at the high schools. Additionally, Nancy's collaborative efforts with parents to support their children's growth and success make her an invaluable asset to the community. Her dedication and passion have created safe environments for students to thrive during non-school hours. And Nancy has been nominated for the core value of unity, And I would actually like to speak to just my own personal experiences with Nancy. We started a new process called the Graduation Rate Intervention Team, also lovingly called GRIT. And Nancy has done some really innovative things and brought them to high schools through the expanded learning program, but also beyond, to help our students with just being successful when grades have started to fall behind. And Nancy, I really love that innovation and the way you're helping our students. So I love seeing you up here with the Red Apple Award. Well deserved. Do we have the Herlindo and Sergio? There should be.
Do we have anything else under that item?
Yes. And we actually have another special award that I'd like to recognize, and that is for Herlindo and Sergio. If you would please come up. Do we have red apple ones? We should have the red apple ones. Can you go down there and at least stand with them?
We should have a what?
Yeah.
We don't have the black.
This is. So Pajaro Middle School, as everyone knows, was flooded. And that school was completely destroyed. It went down to the studs and had to be rebuilt. That level of destruction would normally have taken 3 to 4 years to rebuild. And these two gentlemen rebuilt that school and supervised the rebuilding of the school in 17 months. It was an unheard of speed. And I don't know if many people know this, but at that same time, Sergio's home was actually also destroyed and flooded. His parents live in that home as well, and he actually put his own home on the back burner and did not attend to that because he was prioritizing the school and the students of Pajaro Middle School. And I hope you don't mind that I shared that, but I think that that needs to be shared. And so without anyone even knowing that, the American Public Works Association of Monterey Bay recognized this outstanding effort and gave Pajaro Middle School the Project of the Year award. And that is just so well deserved of these two gentlemen. Additionally, I want to share that as the summer was starting this year, and I came on May 1st, so most of the work had been happening. I had nothing to do with that at all. But over the summer, it was looking kind of close, like, oh my gosh, are we going to be able to open for these students coming into the start? And they worked without pay because they're managers, so you just work the hours that you have to work. You don't get overtime or anything like that. They worked every single weekend this summer. I mean, from sunup to sundown. Actually, members of my cabinet and myself were there as well, but not the hours that these gentlemen were there. Every single weekend, sunup to sundown, ensuring that that school was going to open on time. And so this award is really well deserved. They got to go to a function where they were honored, which is what this picture is taken on. But I also believe they really deserve the recognition of the community. And I think that not quite everyone really knows the efforts that they went for our students in Pajaro Middle School. And so we really thank the two of you for those Herculean efforts, for the fact that I don't know two people that I could say more truly put students first. So thank you.
Oh, really quick, I don't know if you knew this, but Harlindo and I grew up together. Yeah, so I'm really glad that Sergio grew up together. So I'm really glad you're doing that, man.
There's just a little more information on this slide about the school. and what was shared at the recognition award.
Okay, thank you so much. And then our last item in section 3 is 3.6. We have Watsonville Ivy League project here. Mark Mendoza and the Watsonville Ivy League project are here to discuss a fundraiser they have coming up.
Good evening, Dr. Contreras, PVSD Board Trustees, and PVSD community members. We are here representing the 15 Watsonville High and Pajaro Valley High students who are part of this year's Watsonville Ivy League project, also called WILP.
WILP is a program that supports high-achieving, primary, first-generation, low-income high school students in visiting prestigious universities on the East Coast. We will travel for a week in September to visit 9 universities: Harvard, Yale, Brown, Columbia, Cornell, Princeton, Penn, MIT, and Boston University.
Okay. Hello. In the spirit of equity and providing an opportunity for all students, regardless of their economic stance and family income, WILP students are presenting a benefit show in the Mello Center on Sunday, March 23rd.
This spectacular event will feature local youth talent including Estrellas de Esperanza Folclórico, El Sistema Youth Orchestra, Mariachi Ilusión, the Pajaro Valley High School Band, and Sueños Azteca Folclórico from Pajaro Valley High, along with other youth performers. We hope to raise enough money through this event to fully fund the trip for all of our 15 WILP scholars and lessen the burden on our families.
In order to reach our goal of raising $50,000, we are asking the community for your support. You can help local students achieve our college goals by donating to our event. Any amount will help, and all donations to WILP are tax deductible. Everyone involved with our benefits show is donating their time, so all the funds we raise will go directly to paying WILP students' travel expenses.
In order to selling tickets to our benefits show, we are offering several sponsorships levels for donors. All donations will be acknowledged in our event program, and there are other rewards for larger donations, such as free tickets to show advertising in the program for donations of $5,000 or more, a free mariachi or folklorico dance at any event of the donor's choice.
We invite you to attend our amazing show and help us spread the word to everybody you know. Thank you for your support.
Good evening, everybody. And now to get a personal view on the members of the Ivy League project. Hello, my name is Isaac Duran. I'm a junior, and I am Pajaro Valley High School's WILP president. The Ivy League project to me is one of the best opportunities I've known since my sophomore year. It's an experience in which we, as one unit, have learned how to fundraise, publicize ourselves, and gain an eye-opening experience to an opportunity some of us may have never considered. The transition is definitely shocking, from barely knowing how to fundraise to leading fundraiser events and planning so far ahead. Asking businesses to donate resources and funds is no piece of cake. It's definitely taken in a lot of commitment from me and the others to take part in this project. My biggest motivation to go on this journey has been my peers and my family telling me to utilize my skills to a level that hasn't been accomplished in my family yet. And I can say overall that applying to and joining this community has been one of the greatest choices I've made.
Hello. My name is Marie, and this year I was one of the 15 students who got selected for the Watsonville Ivy League project. Throughout my high school years, I was never very active in our community. However, I was very serious about my education. But throughout this whole project, I learned that community was very important, and and I needed to take the opportunities that lied before me. And this is what WILP has taught me, to just be out there, be open, and basically just take anything that benefits me and our community.
Good afternoon, board members of trustees. Board of Trustees, my name is Mark Mendoza. I'm a student at PV High and I'm part of the Watsonville Ivy League project. Growing up as a single mother, money was always a struggle. I knew I wanted to attend a good university, but didn't know what my limits were due to us worrying about money so much until I learned about WILP. I learned even with the struggles I face, I have the opportunity to attend a prestigious university and achieve my dreams. I thought I was held back from because of income. This is why WILP is important to me. I want this program to grow, to show others that they can achieve anything, even if they have heavy struggles that stop them.
Good afternoon, Board of Trustees. My name is Miguel Reyes. I'm a sophomore at PV High, who is a part of the Watsonville Ivy League project. I joined the program to have a better understanding of what it's like to be a scholar at one of these prestigious schools. An Ivy League I'm interested in is Yale, which I never thought of visiting or attending until I was given this opportunity. My biggest motivations are my friends for helping me with the application process and my parents for supporting me on this journey.
Hi again, everyone. My name is Desi. I'm a junior at Watsonville High School. I don't really have anything prepared to say right now, but I'd really encourage you guys to come and just invite all of you to our show. It's the Watsonville Ivy League Project's an amazing thing to support. A lot of us here, or all of us even, would not have an opportunity like this if it weren't for this. And we've, as everyone else said, we've learned about like fundraising and stuff. We've had the opportunity to go to different businesses and ask them to donate and sponsor our show. And we've made like business cards for ourselves. We've worked put up GoFundMes and stuff, and we've just been doing a lot to fundraise, and it can be a really great trip in the end. And again, I invite all of you to come to our show. It's going to be pretty exciting. I'm going to be one of the MCs. And just thank you, everyone. And thank you for letting us speak.
All right, so hello again, everyone. My name is Alexis Rojo Cardenas. I am a junior at Watsonville High School. Ever since I knew about the Watsonville Ivy League project, I knew that it was a big goal of mine. I never knew that these options were available to me because of my family's income. So being given this opportunity is really an eye-opening experience. The application process for WILP is really similar to that one of applying to a university. So it was really an eye-opening experience and really put the pressure of what a student will feel when they are applying to colleges. So for example, we had a deadline to meet. We had to ask our teacher for a letter of recommendation. We had to prepare and do an interview with Mr. Raul over here and Lorraine and other members that were grading us. And so it's really an awesome experience. And I really hope that you guys can accompany us in this event. And yeah, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Javier Aldaco de los Santos. I'm a junior at Watsonville High School, and WILP has been a really eye-opening program for me. Before this, I had never even considered the idea of going to a prestigious university like the Ivy Leagues that we're going to be visiting. But through all the support that the community has shown us and through all the people that have shown up because they want to see us succeed, it's been really helpful, and it's helped me realize that I can achieve and accomplish a lot more, especially with all the support and professional development that we've gone through. We went through an interview, we've made business cards, and our counselors and guidance, our leaders have given us prep for SATs and discussed summer programs with us and so many other things that we wouldn't have heard about without this program. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alondra Rivera Munoz, and I'm also a junior at Watsonville High School. And like you've heard so far, the WILP program has helped us all in a variety of ways. And me personally, it has made me more confident in my public speaking skills and able to get to my point across to people who I would find more intimidating or more educated in a way that I don't feel that way anymore. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dayanara Saucedo. I'm a junior at Watsonville High, and the Watsonville Ivy League program has really given me a chance to really believe in myself and believe that these opportunities of going to like a prestigious university is really available to me. And Stanford has always been like a dream of mine, and the Watsonville Ivy League has really supported me with their guidance and their extensions of opportunity and support through the community, and it's really helped me open my eyes and realize that there is really something beyond Watsonville for me. Thank you.
We want to thank the board for allowing us to speak on this amazing event and our passion project. And we also want to thank the community for coming out and supporting us. And we hope to see you at the event. And thank you for the trustees that responded to our email and made this possible. Thank you. Thank you.
That's wonderful. I encourage all of us to go and support this fundraiser. Now I will move us on to item 4.
Comment on this one? I believe I see in the audience Lorraine Sandoval.
Yeah. So I was a part of the first Ivy League project with Lorraine Sandoval. I hope she hasn't told you about how much of a brat I was, because I was in high school still. So Ms. Sandoval, I was going to speak to the camera, but since you're here, I want to say thank you for just continuing this. I ended up falling on the West Coast Ivy Leagues, as we call them, UCLA and USC. And had I not gone over to the Ivy League tour as a sophomore, I don't think I would have ended up at those schools and know exactly what I did. And also that business card that you had us do, that came in so handy when I went off to college. So Ms. Sandoval, thank you so much for all your time, your commitment, and for helping me with my essays. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Trustee Carrasco?
And then I just want to say thank you for the invitation. I was looking at the date and the time, and I will be coordinating an event at the same exact time, the same day. But my question is, will I be able to purchase tickets through that QR code even if I can't make it? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Trustee Esqueda?
Yeah, thank you guys for the presentation. I know, I think 2 weeks ago, Desi was the first one that brought it to Dr. Contreras' our attention during our superintendent's core student council meeting. So I just wanted to say thank you for that presentation. And I know you guys are all capable of touring the schools and as well as applying, because when that application process comes, I know you guys are all prepared for that. And you guys already have experience with interviews, and I know that's going to carry you forward when it comes to the interview process with those prestigious schools as well. So I just wish you all the best of luck and continue the amazing work that you guys are doing.
Trustee Flynn?
Yes, thank you, all of you, for your commitment to your education and your courage to pursue these things, even though there are many things that are perceived or real in your life that could prevent you from moving forward, especially funding. But you've found ways to go around that, and you've allowed those things to give you a new skill set even. And I heard one of you say public speaking, asking for money. There's an actual job for that. It's called fund development. My brother does that at Stanford. So this is a skill set that you can actually build on. One of the things that I was curious about, and I won't have you do it, but you have my email. I was curious what you were wanting to pursue, what major you were wanting to pursue. And I wish you all the best of luck. I am planning on being there, so I look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Trustee Navarro?
Yes, I just want to say I'm so impressed with all of you, and I look forward to seeing you on the 23rd as well. Maybe Trustee Flynn and I can sit next to each other. And one of the things that I didn't realize when I was applying to college at the time, which I think is something that we need to get out to our community, is applying to some of these prestigious universities, especially the private schools. When you get in, they're need blind. So they figure out a way for you to pay for it. And I don't think that that is something that's advertised. So I wish you all the best of luck. I know how hard it is to go far from home, but sometimes when you spread your wings, you bring things back to the community that you can inspire other people. So I encourage all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. I think you're going to have more than a quorum there that night, so we'll make sure to spread ourselves. We'll make sure to spread ourselves out, because I plan on being there too. But we'll be good.
We'll spread out.
Yes. but anything we could do to support our students. Thank you. And so I'm now going to move us on to item 4.1. And I do have a staff request to remove item 3.4 and 3.5 from the consent agenda. But before I ask for a motion, we do have some public speakers on this item.
Wrong, it's 9.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. 9.4 and 9.5. But we do have some speakers first.
Can I just ask Shirley Flores Munoz, I have 2 cards from you, but I don't know what items you wish to speak on.
General topic.
7.1? And the second card? Oh, okay. Okay, great. So we're on item 4.1? Okay. So we have Bill Beecher and Brandon Denise.
Good evening. We're a little remiss in doing the second interim. If we'd have done the second interim earlier, it would have helped this board understand what kind of financial situation we're in. I understand from this evening that that's going to be presented at the end of this month. That's too late for this board because you have a March 15th deadline for cutting people or sending out the notices. So I think a little more timely effort on the interim reports would be helpful. Thank you.
Greetings and thank you to the board for allowing me to speak tonight. Brandon Denise, Negotiations Chair for the PVFT. I want to speak to the issue of Robert's rules being weaponized as a means to silence the voices from our community. We have a superintendent who is trying to indoctrinate members of this board into believing that these are not public meetings. These are the board's meetings held in public. Dr. Contreras, you confronted me after the last board meeting and you asserted your belief that these are not public meetings and you can decide to clear the room and proceed without the public here. I would like you to stand before the community and say those same words. Your conservative Central Valley values don't belong here. In your view, the public elects the board hires the superintendent, and then we're just supposed to get out of the way and not be a distraction. We must find a better way to elevate voices from this community, and that's what I tried to do at the last meeting when I called for a community caucus. I know it wasn't perfect, but I stand by the community and what we did in creating a list of speakers to be heard that night. I implore the board to allow all speakers who want to speak an opportunity to be heard. It is offensive to be told by board members that we listened to 4 hours of comments last time. This was a different meeting, and I'm so proud of all the members of the community who showed up on 24 hours notice. They all deserve to be heard. Trustee Flynn, I think you made a mistake in calling that meeting. You centered yourself in the discussion, and you prioritized your opportunity to learn over people's livelihoods and the needs of our students. We have to find a better way. Robert's rules were first published in the 1870s, so we're using an antiquated system that's over 150 years old, which I know it's the status quo, but that's exactly my point. We should be looking for ways to improve and not just defaulting to a status quo that oppresses voices from this community.
Okay, so I need a motion, but when I have the motion, I ask that you please remember we are removing items 9.4 and 9.5. One of them's a repeat, and yeah, so we're just removing it as per staff requests.
I move approval of the consent agenda, pulling 9.4 and 9.5.
I'm sorry, can you reframe that to the agenda?
Oh.
You approve the agenda with the removal of?
I make a motion to approve the agenda, removing 9.4 and 9.5.
I second the motion.
Thank you. I have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? That passes 6-0-1. Joy, did you have a question? I'm sorry, I don't, okay. I just want to make sure. Okay, so now I will move on to the approval of the February 12th, 2025 board meeting minutes. Can I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. I have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? Thank you. That passes 6-0-1. And now I am going to move us on to item 6.1, our action and report on closed session. We will need to reconvene to closed session, but we are still going to report out on the items that we were able to finish up.
Motion number 1, closed session item 2.1. I move to approve certificated personnel report as presented by district administration on March 5th, 2025, with 20 and 27 additional action items.
Thank you. I second. All those in favor? Aye. Any abstaining? Any opposed? Thank you. That passes 6-0-1.
Motion 2.2, closed session item 2.2. I move to approve classified personnel report as presented by district administration on March 5th, 2025, with 18 and 6 additional action items.
And I second. And all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Aye. Okay. Any abstaining? Okay. Motion passes 5-1-1. Thank you.
Closed session item 2.7 regarding resolution 242524, non-reelection of certain probationary certificated employees. During the closed session held earlier tonight, the board adopted a resolution pursuant to Education Code section 44929.21 and authorized the district superintendent to notify teachers listed in Exhibit A of release from his or her probationary position by the following vote. The vote was 6-1, with board member Gabriel Medina voting no. Closed session item 2.8 regarding resolution 242525, possible release, reassignment, or non-reelection of certain certificated management employees. During the closed session held earlier tonight, the board adopted a resolution pursuant to Education Code section 44951 and authorized the district superintendent or his or her designee to notify coordinators of site academics, principals, directors, and program directors of release and reassignment from their positions by the following vote. That vote held 6-1, with Gabriel Medina voting no. All right. Is Joe Smith here? Yes. Can you stand up, Mr. Smith? PVUSD is pleased to announce the selection of Joe Smith as the new principal for Renaissance High School. Joe has been the interim principal during the 24-25 school year and has now moved into a permanent role. Joe has been serving students since 1996 as the academic learning coordinator, social studies teacher, and assistant principal at Aptos High School. Before stepping into the Renaissance interim role, Joe was program director for expanded learning, focusing on credit recovery. Additionally, Joe has been involved in the basketball programs at Aptos High, coaching both the boys and girls teams and winning several league championships. Joe holds a BA degree in history from UCSC, a single subject teaching credential from National University, and a master's degree in educational administration from San Jose State, a master's degree in kinesiology from Fresno Pacific, and an administrative credential from San Mateo County Office of Education. We are excited to welcome this highly accomplished educator to their permanent position. Go Dragons! Announcement number 2. Do we have Patrick Lynch? Mr. Lynch, the Pajaro Valley Unified School District is pleased to announce the selection of Patrick Lynch as the new principal of Valencia Elementary. Patrick will begin his principalship in the 25-26 school year. Currently, Patrick is the academic coordinator for both Rio Del Mar Elementary and Calabasas Elementary. Patrick has been serving students since 2012 when he started as a paraprofessional in the special ed program. He became an elementary school teacher in 2015 and also has experience teaching 7th grade. He's earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology from JFK University and a master's degree in education from CSUMB. He holds a multiple subject credential and an administrative credential from CSUMB. We are excited to welcome Patrick to his new role. Go Sea Stars. Announcement number 3. Is Chrissy McLean here? The Pajaro Valley Unified School District is pleased to announce the selection of Chrissy McLean as the new Director of Equity, State, and Federal Programs for Accountability. Chrissy's been working as the interim director in this role for most of the 24-25 year. Prior to this, Chrissy served as the coordinator of academic and social emotional counseling programs in PVUSD. Chrissy has worked with students as a secondary teacher at both AVCI and Watsonville High School as the technology integration coach. She has also served as the assistant principal in charge of master scheduling and an interim principal at both Watsonville High School. And what's the other one? It's left out. It says both at Watsonville High School. Sorry for the other height. Do you want to finish that sentence? Okay, never mind. All right, thank you. Sorry for that. Chrissy holds a degree in American Studies and a master's in education from both UCSC. She holds a single subject credential in English, Social Studies, and Health. She also holds an administrative credential from Santa Clara Office of Education, and currently she's working on her doctorate in educational leadership through San Jose State University. Her 14+ years of experience will serve her well in this position, and we're proud to welcome this highly accomplished educator to her new administrative role. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations, and welcome to PVUSD. I will now move us on to item 7, our visitor non-agenda items. This is an opportunity for members of the public to address issues that are not on our agenda this evening. Please know that though the Brown Act prohibits the board from engaging in discussion for non-agenda items, we are listening. Do we have any public comments?
Yes, we do. Can we bring to the podium Bill Beecher, Takashi Mizuno, Jesse Sherwood, Ketrin Bermudez, Natalia Vowles, Ryan Ortiz, Rob Cornett, Jaylene Arendando, Zoe C., and Shirley Flores Munoz.
Good evening. Our district has a budget problem. Well, one of these will work. You didn't create it, but you've got to fix it. And we're here to support you. It will not be easy. Here's what the first interim showed is that enrollment falls off 23%, but certificated increased 20%. And classified, which was mostly professionals, went up 45%. That was a 40% increase over what our previous funding had been. So if you look at what the first interim said, we've only have a $20 million problem. Wrong. So what if COVID-19 did not happen? Revenue would have followed enrollment. So here's a graph of what would have happened with our enrollment falling off, but adding back in a 3% COLA, cost of living adjustment. So we would have dropped down. Now let's compare that to the first interim. We have a $70 million problem per year. That's huge. And you guys failed to cut the teachers you needed last time. So my priorities are reduce certificated to match enrollment, combine classrooms where possible, that's already been started, significantly reduce professional services and classified, you cannot afford many of them. Close schools and sell off some of the property. There's over $100 million in land value that we could do. And remember, 93% of the budget now are wages and benefits. The only place you can cut are people. So what if Trump cuts the federal funding? We heard a lot of noise. We would lose $20 to $30 million. So let's work together to keep our district solvent and provide a good education for our students. Thank you.
Good evening, and I'm Takashi. First of all, I have supported and trusted Trustee Joy Flynn, you. I have supported you. You have had my back. And anyway, I'm here tonight to say thank you very much to Miss Jenny Im. And I learned in the Pajaronian last weekend that you submitted your resignation letter. And I also learned in the Pajaronian that you have been working as Chief Business Officer and Director of Finance. No one can do that in such conditions, in this kind of difficult situations. So, although I was not on the same page with you, I have respected and I have been very much moved by the way how you have been working here. And I'm very thankful that you continue to work until the end of June. And I have a present for you tonight. And I like taking photos. And this is one of the photos which I took when at Palm Beach, when I moved from New Jersey to Watsonville about 11 years ago. And my hometown in Japan is on the opposite side of the Pacific Ocean, 6,000 miles away. And when I lived in Japan, one of my respected teachers is Korean. He was a well-known, very well-known thinker among Koreans. His name is Ham-Sok Hong. Do you know him? No, okay. Anyway, he was very well respected as Asian thinkers in the 20th century. And I have been still under his influence. And anyway, please take this gift if you don't mind. Thank you. This bag. I got this bag for you.
I love this man.
Okay. This is very unusual Asian.
Okay, good evening, Board of Trustees, and good evening, PVUSD employees, families, and community members. My name is Katrin Bermudez, and while I am an MSD teacher, a Starlight parent, and a New School superfan, I'm here tonight as the Pajaro Valley Education Foundation President, PVEF. We are PVUSD's Education Foundation. PVEF was founded in 2017, and like all education foundations, our purpose is to support schools and education-related causes through donations and our nonprofit status. Our success is due to an incredibly generous private sector and many philanthropic individuals. Some of our work includes the Innovator of the Year Awards, employee grants, hardship grants to families during COVID lockdown, student art competitions with cash prizes, and college scholarships. Through an almost $100,000 grant from Granite Construction, we funded the tiny home CTE courses at Aptos High and Watsonville High. PVEF consists of a volunteer board and has no paid staff. Some of us work in PVUSD, some of us live in the Pajaro Valley, and all of us have a passion for the success of PVUSD students, staff, families, and our educational community. And I think everyone listening to this meeting is working for the collective success of our public education system. If you're on that side of the table, if you're on this side of the table, you love this work. If you are at home watching this meeting on YouTube, maybe at 1.25 speed with popcorn, like me and my husband Jorge usually are, you love this work. PVEF is here to fund that passionate, innovative, and equitable work. I leave you with an invitation to attend the Innovator of the Year Awards this spring and a 5K run this fall. Don't worry, I will invite you, all of you, many times. And I leave you with an offering of service and cooperation. Join us at pvef.net and donate as you are able. Check out our recent news release, which I will leave for you.
Good evening. My name is Jesse Sherwood. I'm a science teacher at Aptos High School. I'm here to voice my concerns about this board's recent decision to lay off teachers in our district and at my site. Aptos High School is set to lose 9 teachers next school year, including 3 of my fellow science teachers and 3 visual and performing arts teachers. I want to highlight what is abundantly clear about these cuts is being ignored and outright denied by the district. This is a direct attempt to force Aptos High to give up our 7-period bell schedule. It's simple math to see that losing 9 of our 51 teachers will leave our site severely understaffed and unable to fill our current bell schedule, which requires 48 full-time teachers. Our 7-period schedule provides much-needed supports to our most vulnerable student populations, including English learners and students who receive special education services. It creates opportunities for students to take a variety of elective courses, such as arts, AP, and CTE classes. And it allows 9th graders to take a year-long health course where they learn life-saving social-emotional skills. These opportunities should be the norm for every high school student in our community, not the exception. We need the transparency that this district loves to claim in the form of honesty about what is being ripped away from our school and what is at stake for our students next year and into the future. I may not be an English teacher, but I can read the writing on the wall. Myself and my colleagues, who I am speaking on behalf of tonight, will not simply stand by while our school is gutted. We are willing to do what some members of this board and our district leadership are not: fight for what is right for our students. Thank you.
Hello, board. My name's Natalia, and I am a junior at Aptos High. First of all, I want to say that board members stating that Aptos isn't losing its 7-period day is a joke. The FTE cuts that are being made do not physically allow our school to staff a 7-period day. Many staff and students are in the dark about how all these staff cuts can be made, while you guys keep reassuring us that we will not lose our current schedule. The points that I will be making in this comment are based off of the assumption that Aptos will be forced into a 6-period day, since none of us have gotten proof otherwise. First off, we will not have the health and human class at our school, and instead just the sex ed portion of health would be taught in PE. A topic like sex ed being taught in PE is a liability because those teachers are not properly trained on this topic like health teachers are. A proper health and human education saves students' lives, and by cutting FTE, you threaten a schedule at our school that includes health, and you directly put the lives of students in danger. You have to realize the power and the impact that your decision will have. Another direct impact would be the loss of VAPA and CTE classes. A specific example of a class we would lose is our underclassmen ASB leadership class. I'm in my 3rd year of ASB, and I'm entering my 4th as I enter my senior year. This class has been a crucial turning point in the development of my confidence and leadership skills, and has inspired me to take interest in local politics and stand in front of you today. This board says that they value student input and voices, but the very classes that promote the development of these voices are threatened in these budget cuts and schedule changes. Classes that might traditionally be considered more academic are also threatened, such as AP classes. The availability of options would be significantly decreased, and classes would be packed to the max. An education that provides the bare minimum is not that of a true education, because it leaves no room for students to pursue their passions while fulfilling their graduation requirements. I am so thankful that my school provides me with these educational opportunities, and it breaks my heart to think that my student body could suffer these consequences that I have discussed. More importantly, forcing our schedule indirectly to 6 periods closes the door for other students and schools of other students within our district to also have this wide variety of options. I'm standing up here to fight for the students who are coming after me, such as my little brother, to ensure that their educations allow them the same level of opportunities that I have been provided.
Hi, everyone. I have so much to say regarding the students that I serve, so I don't have enough time right now to say it, so I want to let you all know that I sent all of you an email a few hours ago. I urge you to read that email because there's no way that I can express the depths of my concerns right now, so I have a highlight reel for you, but again, it's just going to touch on the topics that I'm concerned about. I really would appreciate if you could read that email. So, my name is Ryan Ortiz, and I'm an 8th-year teacher at Aptos High, and for 8 years I've worked diligently with mentors across Santa Cruz County to develop an exceptional curriculum for Aptos High's Health and Human 9th grade course. I'm seeking to make you understand that losing health due to budget cuts is not only not what is best for students, but it is dangerous and it has too high of stakes to even be considered an option. My email goes on to explain the impact of Aptos High's health course in my 8 years of experience. So some of the topics that are covered in my email. First, I want to bring up sex ed. I'm so grateful that California law requires sex ed for graduation, but that's the only content area in health that is required for graduation. I would imagine that if health is lost, that's going to get thrown into PE or something. which our PE teachers, they fight for their curriculum as well if they don't want that. And as Natalia pointed out, they are not trained the way that me and my colleagues have been trained for hours over the years that we've been at Aptos on CHIA compliant curriculum. And also we piloted the program that the rest of the schools in our district adopted. And so that's very significant, and that's a lot of time and money that we've put in. Next, nutrition education. I want to point out that I got to participate with the Santa Cruz County Office of Ed last year with Dr. Ferris Sabah and Heather Wygant, where they expressed concerns. They shared data within our county showing a trend of an increasing BMI for students in Santa Cruz County since COVID, with a 10% higher BMI for Watsonville students compared to their Santa Cruz student counterparts. And there's so much more about mental health, CPR training, drug prevention. None of those are required by law to be taught. And without this, I can't even imagine how the drug problem that exists at our school would be much worse. And I want to point out, since I've seen it on the screen so much, it keeps saying PBUSD whole child. I get to know a lot of people in here because I've gotten to be a part of PBIS for 7 years. And if you say whole child, then you need to consider the health course at Aptos High School. Thank you.
I'm sorry, before you speak, can I ask Dr. Contreras to clarify some of the comments regarding Aptos High in the 7th period? The 7th period in the health class?
Okay, so I'm hearing a lot about the 7-period schedule, and I know earlier this year, maybe about a month ago, I did send an email and also a letter to the community regarding the 7-period schedule. So I do kind of want to address that a little bit with community so that we can just kind of, it's a really complex situation, and I think there might be misinformation and some kind of confusion over layoffs and positions, and then the 7-period schedule getting confused with some different things. So prior to my arrival into this district, I believe there was a committee 2 years ago that was looking at the 7-period schedule that was headed, I believe, by the HR Assistant Superintendent, Allison Izawa, and I think that Dr. Rodriguez was involved with that, and I believe the principal at Aptos High School, and I think PVFT and some others were on that committee. So I think there may have been some start of looking at the 7-period schedule. I wasn't aware of that, and I really didn't understand or know what this 7-period schedule was about, or what schedules were being held for the other high schools in our district. And so as I became onboarded into this district, I was on my look, listen, and learn journey and trying to understand all of our high schools. I began to understand the complexities of each of our high school schedules, the 7-period schedule at Aptos High School, the desire at PV High School for a 7-period schedule, and then some of the challenges around all of those things. It is incredibly complex. I don't think it's an issue that is just going to be a decision quick, like, okay, yeah, next year we're at a 6-period, or yes, right away we're at a 7-period. I think it's going to take some studying. I think that I don't have all the answers to that. I think it is going to need to have community input, teacher input, student input. I don't think it's something that is going to be arrived at overnight. I understand that recent discussions about positions that may be eliminated may be leading people to that certain decisions have been made, but decisions have not been made. We are still studying this issue, and I'm still trying to analyze the complexities of it, and I am looking for some outside resources and help with it because it is so complex. So I just want to put that out there. I have been talking with PVFT around the 7-period schedules because it is a negotiated item. So there's going to be some time that needs to be worked around, and there is going to be some community input around that as well. So
I hope that answers your question.
But Dr. Contreras, is there any plans next year to go to a 6-period schedule?
At this time, there is not.
Hello, board members. My name is Rob Cornett, and I am in my 40th year as the track and field coach at Watsonville High School. I'm here tonight to offer up huge savings for this district. Last week, I emailed each board member and offered the same proposal that I was asked to write by my chain of command over a month ago. This proposal outlines a safe way for my team of over 100 student athletes to practice on our own site instead of busing us to Pajaro Valley High School, which is estimated to cost $500 per week, and if we were to go for the full season, $6,000. That could be saved. Monday, I read the letter from Kent Construction stating that there are holes and rebar in the construction area, and any delays caused by our use might affect completion. I get the idea that my proposal never traveled up that chain of command because the track and the field are not in the construction area. I've brought a couple of athletes.
Hello, board members. I am Jaylene on behalf of the Watsonville High track team. Currently, the district is paying $5,000 to $6,000 to bus us over to Pajaro Valley High School. There is a fence separating the softball field and the construction area. Softball continues to practice and play games. We could be doing the same thing. All we need is a temporary fencing surrounding the construction zone, so no student or equipment is harmed.
Good evening, board members. My name is Zoe, and I represent Watsonville High School Track and Field. Our practice begins at 4 p.m. and ends at 6 p.m. Since November, the construction workers have left just after 3 p.m. How would we be delaying this project in any way? Right now, 80 of us are being bused over to Pajaro Valley High School, where 2 other teams also practice. There are too many athletes at this site with us being there, and there have been issues with safety and just a few collisions. We would like to practice at our own site.
I'd like to reiterate that we had yesterday's practice over 160 athletes at Pajaro Valley. It's untenable. We cannot do that. It's unsafe. But yet, Watsonville High School's track and field are empty after 3 p.m. Empty. We'd like to help you guys to help us get back on our own field.
President. Sorry, Trustee Flynn?
Is it possible to have you speak to that as well, Dr. Contreras? No. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Good afternoon, board members. My name is Jaime Arteaga, and I'm here representing the 450 Northern California Carpenters Union members living here in Santa Cruz County. I was born and raised in Watsonville, attending PVUSD elementary schools and graduated from Watsonville High in 1987. I'm here to discuss the opportunities for your students to join our apprenticeship programs. The program in Morgan Hill is fully funded by our union general contractors, so apprentices pay nothing for their 4-year training. In fact, they earn a fair wage and receive health benefits while they train. I would like to invite all of you to visit our site, I would like to invite all of you to the state-of-the-art training facility located in Morgan Hill. The facility is run by top instructors in the construction field. I will be sending you an email invite and hope you can attend. We can accommodate your schedule, but the best days to visit are Wednesday through Thursday when the apprentices have their projects ready for viewing. The Northern California Carpenters would love the opportunity to build a stronger bond with the Pajaro Valley Unified School District and its students. So right now, the construction industry is trending towards structure that does not provide any opportunity for your students to attain a job or training. So let's fix this by working together. So thank you for listening to me. So as mentioned earlier, I would love to invite you guys to attend our training center, and we can accommodate rides, whatever you guys need. And maybe we could work together. Me being from Watsonville, my heart is in this. So everything that I'm bringing forward is for the community because I love this community. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Shirley Flores Munoz. I'm an instructor with Cabrillo College. I've been there for 42 years. So I just want to say I have great confidence in this superintendent and board. I also want to say that at Cabrillo, we're also like you, cutting corners financially. It's difficult, it's painful. We don't want to see it happening, but it is going to happen, and it's going to happen more. So what do? We had 5 different divisions. We eliminated one of our divisions. We collapsed the work into 4 divisions. The second thing is we had 14 instructors. We offered them the incentive to retire early. They did. We didn't rehire 12. Okay, so this comes from shared governance. That's the word we use at the campus. It requires due diligence. Everybody participates. Town hall meetings on campus, feedback forums from every individual working. Travares Harris is our vice president, and I would like you, invite you to have a conversation with him, because this is a time when board members, superintendents, administrators need to talk with one another. It's also a time when the board and the superintendent, the administration need to talk with one another. In-service trainings are essential at this point. So the board needs to be completely informed with what's going on. And they need to have a relationship that's workable. I'm going to be really fast because I'm running out of time, but I just want to say that Jessica and Gabe are examples of why I'm still teaching after 41 years. And I'm tired, okay? But I'm 75. And it comforts me to know that they ask questions, that they're vibrant, that they're intelligent, and they're educated. And do you think that that is exactly why I've been teaching for 42 years? Yes, it is. Because the world looks very different to me than it did in 1981. Thank you very much.
Next up, we have Joel Smith, Omar Dieguez, Chris Webb, Cindy Edinger, Tanya Hernandez, Alberto Estrada, Dustin Dennis, Brandon Denise. That was 10. What time are we at?
Hello, good evening. My name is Joel Smith. I teach art, CTE, and also have a social science credential at Aptos High. I've been informed by my principal, because I'm the last hired in my department, I will be most likely cut when these cuts go through. I just wanted to let you know that I have 35 students in every class. Those students will still be here next year. I've seen amazing things happen in my 4 years at Aptos. Students who come in shy, low confidence, winning contests, seeing their confidence grow and achieve amazing things. I've had a number of my students gain paid internships from the skills they gained in my class. That's why I was drawn to Aptos, because they had so many electives that were vocationally minded: video production, graphic design. The idea that these are going to be slashed has been devastating. I've had students come into my room excited about taking my visual commercial art class next year because they heard about the animation, and I had to let them know I most likely will not be there next year. The class will most likely no longer exist because of these cuts that went through. I really think it's important for you guys to realize the effect that it's going to have on students. And with 9 teachers removed, there is no way our 7th period bell schedule can function, which will mean that freshmen cannot take electives, which will devastate our art program at Aptos. I really believe in vocational education. I think these graphic design courses, these are teaching skills that are needed for the future. And I really think that we should reconsider these cuts. I've seen districts slash the arts in many different school districts I've been at. We have an amazing choir teacher who most likely will be put down to part-time and go find a position elsewhere. I hope that you, the board, reconsider these cuts and really look at what you're doing and look at every option available. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Omar Dieguez. I'm with Barrios Unidos, also a member of the Watsonville Brown Berets. We had our first event this weekend. We held a Peace and Unity march here in town. We started off at the fire station, walked over to Placita where we had the White Hawk dancers, community members join us. And that's due to all the violence that's going on in our community right now. Over 5 drive-by shootings in the last week and still continuing. So I'm here to ask that when you do these cuts, that you guys take into mind the importance of mental health counselors, the importance of mentors, the importance of having teachers in our community to help us get through these kinds of things in our community. Please take that into consideration. And then the other thing, one of the things that the Brown Berets is going to be offering to the community and to the young people to build strong leaders and empower our youth. Our first session, one of our first sessions we're going to have is we're going to have an education on the Robert rules, on how things run in this school board. You know, and we're going to educate our young people to come out here and learn how this all works. Ms. Contreras, I would like to ask you to give me a 5-minute explanation right now what you're going to do about the gun violence that's going on in our community. Give me a 5-minute explanation about why you guys haven't brought back the CRT contract. Give me a 5-minute explanation on what you're going to do about our immigration students and migrant students that are in our community. How are you going to keep them safe? Can you do that for me?
That's a lot to explain in 5 minutes, but we do have a lot of plans for all of those, Omar.
I hope so.
I'd be more than happy to sit with you in my office tomorrow.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Eddie, and I'm a junior at PV High. I'm here to speak on my student experience. In the morning, I struggle to find motivation to come to school because I know I'm going to be bored. When I'm in school, I'm uninterested in most of my classes and disconnected from the people around me. All classes except my ethnic literature lack community. I've recently paid more attention to my classes and have noticed students go the whole 2 hours of a class without ever interacting with the teacher. Then teachers wonder why they don't build relationships with students and their classes lack community. I'm burnt out, not from being challenged, but purely due to boredom. I had a limited class selection and have a schedule where the only break between 4 hours of class is 15-minute break. Worst of all, my peers and I work solely for grades. Whether you have to copy or cheat, people work towards the bare minimum, which is graduating, due to a lack of programs offering opportunities to enjoy learning. I'm speaking up here for myself, but especially for the future generations of PV, such as my little brothers. These problems all have solutions, but I strongly advise not to guess and instead collaborate with members of the school who aren't just ASB. I'm sorry, but I have to get this off my chest. Aptos is upset they're getting a schedule more similar to PV's and losing classes we've never had. Hopefully this is an eye-opener to what the PV High experience is like. Thank you, God bless.
Good evening. I want to begin by expressing my respect and appreciation for Jenny M. and the service you've provided. We may have differences, but I feel like you've always been professional, and I think you've served here well. So thank you. Also, I want to thank Trustee Flynn for bringing up the federal government point last meeting. Because of my own concerns with that government, I think it's really important that when we make changes, we are constantly refining towards best practices, which could still operate even at a smaller scale. So I think we need to really focus on that. Also, I want to commend Board President Flores for not the last meeting, but the one before. I felt like you operated well. And one thing I think this board should just adopt is is the Adam Scow standard that if anyone who shows up gets to speak, even if it's only for 1 minute. Not 4 hours, but 1 minute we got. So also, since Dr. Navarro, you expressed going to speak to state representatives, please advocate for at least a tax on 1,3-dichloropropene. This community is suffering impacts of that pesticide use, and it bears a cost. Right now, we're just bearing it. Really, it should be fully banned, but in the meantime, at least let's get some revenue for it, specifically for SPED. And then also, in light of the whole Renaissance move, which really troubles me, it just makes me think, like, was it always the intent of the district really to do that? Like, to close the program? And I don't think the plan is good. I feel like I wonder, what does Renaissance even mean to this district? I would like that question answered. Also, can maybe you might consider another thing they do over the hill is they have plus programs where basically like each site has their own like internal continuation. I feel like that's maybe a better model than this parking lot plan. Thank you.
Good evening, school board. My name is Tony Hernandez. I just want to express how Renaissance truly changed my life, and it rediscovered my my love for school. And I feel like if it were to move, it would affect everyone. Yeah, so yeah.
I guess I'm starting now. Hi, my name is Cindy Edinger. Hi board, hi President Flores and Superintendent Contreras. And I'm Cindy Area. I'm a homeowner from Area 5, Flores, and a parent of a special needs student at Rolling Hills. I'm a math teacher at Renaissance and a STEAM Academy lead teacher. I just started that program up at Renaissance High. All of our students come from all of the areas. All of the areas represented here, they come from all of your areas. We are the only continuation high school in the PVUSD school district, and we've been here for over 50 years. So if you're talking about relocating a site that has existed for over 50 years or even slightly close to 50, that is a long time. So I've been in touch with people that have graduated from Renaissance High, dental assistants, people that work at the Whole Foods as a back order chef. I've met people that are alum, and they're saying, don't move it. This one friend of mine, she graduated in year 2000. She's a dental assistant. Her son goes to Saba. She's like, please don't move my son. We like where we're at. We like Saba where we're at. We do not need to have, she's like, please don't change that school site. That was the best thing that ever happened to me as a young person, a young woman. And I'm also a part of the Teacher Leadership Institute for Sustainability for the County of Santa Cruz Office of Education. I've been a member of that for 2 years, and I've been leading natural habitat walks and all kinds of things. We're really using our campus not in we're treading lightly on it. So when we're talking about moving in and bulldozing, it's horrifying to think that our natural habitat is going to be destroyed by moving in 500 plus students. So I'm asking the board, I wanted to also mention a couple comments if I have, oh no, I don't have a lot of time. So I just wanted to remind you, please, the spaciousness, the remote access, the natural setting, the small population, the students feel non-bullied. They come from bullied situations. The issue that happened at Aptos High with the death on the campus, students came over. Anyways, I'm just letting you know, students come for all various reasons. Maybe it's trauma, maybe it's academics, whatever it may be. But they come to us and they thrive academically. They grow.
Thank you. That's your time. Thank you.
Good evening, board, and thank you for hearing us out tonight. My name is Dustin Dennis, and I get to be a construction teacher at Aptos High. I am dismayed to hear that 9 teaching positions are slated to be cut. I understand that budgets are tightening and some changes need to be made, but this is too severe. As you have heard, this will wreak significant changes to the breadth and depth of our opportunities there. Just today, I was able to mentor students in drilling foundation bolts, assembling electrical wiring, and installing 2x4s as top plates. Then at break time, I helped a student by explaining how he could improve his grade. During lunch, students came in and worked on their woodcraft experience and even put in extra time on our tiny house project. I know these same enriching experiences are happening all over campus. This positive connection does not and will not happen if we cut back class offerings and overfill our roll sheets with 35 students. I also know this is not happening at break and lunch at the district office. Even though I have only been a teacher in our district for several years, I am already aware that there are other constructive and creative ways to trim budgets by looking for cuts that are farther from the classroom and less impactful on our students. I wonder how we pay for our high-cost educational consultants and our abundant numbers of independent contractors that are not in contact with our students, and where and why we are directing funding and energy and effort that way. 9 teachers less seems to put us at the teacher-student ratio that will only support a maximum of 6 periods. Please, please look at other options for budget savings. I know I want it for my students, I would want it for my own kids, and I know you all want it for your students too. Thank you.
Brandon, Denise, I'll be speaking again in a little bit to some of the spin that we just all witnessed. I'm speaking tonight under public comments, though, to address the doublespeak that's being perpetrated by our superintendent, who has repeated that she remains steadfast in her commitment to collaboration with our labor partners, but the reality is that she does not respect the union or our right to organize. I will be sharing with you 2 examples of formal requests for information, which are our right under the EERA, which are past the deadline for a response. Dr. Contreras claims these layoffs were necessary, and she claims to have collaborated with us, but she has failed to ensure that we receive information that is absolutely effective or absolutely necessary for us to be able to effectively represent our members, such as a written rationale of the process the district used in planning class sizes. We don't get that information. The formulas that the district used when planning class sizes for next year, don't get that information either. And even something as simple as the copy of the information that was presented to us in a meeting on February the 5th. A copy of the documents from a meeting that have already happened have been withheld from us. During that meeting, Dr. Contreras literally told Nellie and I to sit down and to not interrupt. We have a lot to get through. We don't have time for your interruptions. In that meeting, we learned that the layoff resolution would be going to the board in 7 days. What did I do after that meeting? I did what unionists do. I organized. I called our executive council to give them a heads up, and we started educating and informing our members that the board will be considering layoffs, and we have the opportunity to make our voices heard. In the eyes of Dr. Contreras, these actions amounted to a slap in the face and some betrayal that she is taking personally. I believe that the words of Dr. Contreras should match up to her actions. Because right now, her actions are saying that the union does not deserve to receive information that is guaranteed to us by law and that we have no right to organize our members. Make it make sense, Dr. Contreras. You either respect us or you don't. And right now, it's pretty clear that you don't.
Thank you. That has been our 30 minutes, so we are moving on to our next items. I apologize to anyone who was not able to speak, but I do suggest that you reach. I know, Marilyn Getter, and I'm sorry, but we are past our 30 minutes, and if we had people not going over their time, we might have been able to fit in more, but I'm sorry. This is our board policy that I'm sticking to. Thank you. Thank you.
Excuse me, I am a student that is here who has AP classes tomorrow in the morning as well as a paid internship, and I filled out a card and so did other people, and we are students on a school night and we would like to speak about what is
We will hear students, any students that still need to speak.
Thank you.
We'll hear the
Student
students,
in the
Marilyn.
audience, and you filled out a card, please step up.
Marilyn, we'll hear you on your next.
What?
We're going to hear from the students, and we can hear from you on your next.
I can't hear. She's gonna hear from the students first, and then. Good, thank you. You go first. You're lovely.
Hello, my name is River Ornelas. I am a senior at Pajaro Valley High School, and I am speaking in regards of the course inequality and the lack of resources at Pajaro Valley High School. We have an entire block of portables that we use instead of classrooms, in which there is no heat, with roofs that leak when it rains. The frustrating part is that we have been promised actual classrooms since PV High was built. In the bathroom, when it was raining, a bubble filled with water developed developed in the bathroom and popped. Additionally, we are missing about 20 classes that are offered at Watsonville and Aptos High. We are missing necessary math, foreign language, and CTE classes, which are graduation requirements. The only foreign language that is offered at Pajaro Valley High School is Spanish, and in total, we have 8 AP classes. The very classes that Aptos are possibly losing are the ones that we lack. We don't have a health class. We have a sex ed that is thrown into the curriculum of PE in the last 3 months. Which was taught to me by a permanent sub because we did not have a teacher. By California Healthy Youth, we are supposed to be taught in depth by health professionals. However, that is not the case. We do not need more empty positions that would just be filled with long-term subs. If the district truly cared about course inequality, we would not be firing qualified teachers. Consistently, Pajaro Valley High School is left out of the conversation, causing students to feel like an afterthought to the district. That is why so many Pajaro Valley High School students come to voice their concerns, because if we don't bring it to your attention, nothing would change. Thank you to the trustees who have made an effort to bridge the gap between high schools. I would also encourage talking to all students, not those just in ASB. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Liliana Lona Alfaro, and I am a senior at Pajaro Valley High School. I am speaking in regards to the construction of the Future Visual and Performing Arts Center at PV as a theater student and as the drama club president. Firstly, I would like to give a great thanks to the funding from Measure M and the approval to construct a performing arts center at PV in the first place. But I would also like to shed light on the current conditions of student performers on our campus. Dancers for baile folklorico and actors in theater are limited to one classroom, the same one that our VAPA teacher currently that we have studied in at PV in his time, and the same one that my own father took his classes for theater in. I would like to it took 1 year for the VAPA Center until it starts its construction, and it will take about 3 more years before it actually is constructed. So in total, it'll be about 4 years. That is an entire generation of high school graduates. Now, this is PV's 21st birthday this school year. If she was human, she could buy herself a drink, which right now she just might need. The district has proposed to relocate Renaissance High to the PVHS campus to provide SEBA the current location of Renaissance. Now, if a student who cannot prosper in an environment provided by PV or would like to switch to an alternate school, they might find themselves only a few feet away from the environment that they would like to have left. The portable classrooms and chain link fence potentially defining Renaissance will be a major shift from the secluded personal and alternative studies offered at Renaissance. The possibility of this division has already sprung tension, antagonization, and stereotyping of Renaissance students on PV's campus. If the district can build these portables by next school year, we in the Drama Club would like to know why it took 21 years and 4 more for PVHS to have its VAPA Center.
Thank you. Okay. I am now going to move us on to item 8.1, our PVFT. I'm sorry, this is our time to hear from our employee.
Say I could speak after the students.
You have other cards coming up, and we'll have some time.
This is about a different issue. This is
Marilyn, I'm sorry. We have lost control of these board meetings, and we need to regain control of these board meetings. At our last board meeting, we were removed from our room. I can't allow this to happen. I'm sorry.
And the harm to
Marilyn.
everyone in Watsonville.
I'm asking for you to please be respectful of our time, and
Please be respectful to this
I am following
teacher
our board
and to everyone who wants to speak, who has taken the trouble to come here to speak on the behalf
Our board
of the
policy is
students.
30 minutes.
If that respectful, that needs to change.
I'm sorry,
You
and
allow
if everyone had maintained their 2 minutes,
you.
then we might have been able to squeeze more in.
Serious issue.
Marilyn, we're going to move on. Brandon, do you want to come up?
Brandon, I do ask that you be a little more respectful, please. We've already lost an amazing employee. We cannot afford to lose another.
Was that my fault? Pin it on me. Your face is trying to pin it on me. That's real respectful.
I'm just asking you for you to be a little respectful. Thank you.
I'm always respectful. I am always respectful. So what's actually not respectful is not allowing the people who showed up to speak here to speak, to change your rules meeting after meeting. But then again, this isn't your meeting. It's their meeting held in public, and they don't even need you here. 1 pound of the gavel, and they'll just continue without us. And that's the systemic oppression that this board is upholding.
Brandon, I think we're working on your PVFT comments. Do you want to stick to those?
The PVFT stands for allowing everybody who wants to speak. There you go. We're speaking to my PVFT comments. I do want to take a second to shout out Jenny M, because her and I have had many conversations one-on-one, and I know that her heart is in the right place and that she's doing her best. I believe in Jenny, and I believe that Jenny and I can work together just like I can work together with anybody here in this room. I appreciate the people who sought me out at the last meeting and shared their feedback with me. That is something that I truly reflect on, and I do strive to do better. My comments today, I had some drafted, but I want to speak out and say that it is inappropriate to limit the public comment time to 30 minutes at the same time that you're up there whispering, allowing Dr. Contreras to interject herself into public comment to spin the discourse. What that does is it discourages people to speak who had come to speak from their firsthand experience. When you allow Dr. Contreras to weigh in like that, you are spinning the discourse and it is discouraging them to speak. They are the ones at Aptos High. They are the ones who know that they are going to have less course offerings for their students next year. We've heard about the impact of losing the health course and so many other courses. They're the ones who live it, breathe it, and are at that site every day, and they should be heard. I disagree with Dr. Contreras that, we're seeking input from the community. It's such a complex process to look at redoing the 7-period schedule. There's nothing complex about following the collective bargaining agreement. That's all we got to do. Follow the collective bargaining agreement. I did want to take some time today to reintroduce myself and where I come from. Because like it, love it, or hate it, the members of the PVFT have elected me to be their next president, and you're going to have to deal with me. The members did not elect me so that I'll change and I'm suddenly going to stop being confrontational and I'm going to be this subdued version of myself. It's not why they voted for me. I'm sorry. I'm so fortunate to have the upbringing and the family that I've had. My father immigrated to the United States from the Azores, which are islands in the mid-Atlantic that are Portuguese territories, when he was 10 years old. He worked on the dairy in the Central Valley as a teenager, as a young adult. He helped support his family. When my mom was 19, she became pregnant with me, and she was able to be a stay-at-home mom because my dad put himself through school to become an HVAC technician and eventually start his own business. When my aunt had issues with drugs and the law, my family brought in my cousins who would go on to live with us. I've got 2 sisters, so at times there were 10 people living under that one roof. The examples that were set for me were pretty clear. If you want to make something of yourself, you have to work hard for it. But you're not alone, and we have an obligation to uplift those that are less fortunate than us, to uplift those in our community. I remember going out on calls every summer. My dad would take me out on calls to do heating and air conditioning with him. And we'd be on that roof together or in the attic together. And he would always tell me, Brandon, I want you to be working inside one of these buildings, not on the roof or not under the building. My mom, anytime I would get in the car after school and I was following the pack or doing something, but Mom, they're doing it, she would quiz me, Brandon, are you a leader or are you a follower? I'm intensely passionate, and I always have been willing to stand up for others. I also respect the rules of law and social order. There are times when my passion comes close to that line of acceptable discourse, but in my heart, I know I don't cross that line. And if I ever do, I will reflect on it and I will show contrition. And Dr. Contreras, you confronted me after the last meeting, and you said that you felt disrespected by me. I want to apologize for causing you to feel disrespected. This isn't an I'm sorry you feel that way. It's an I'm sorry I made you feel that way. I hope you can show a similar level of reflection and consider how disrespectful you have been to me and to our entire union. To answer the question from my mom, Brandon, are you a leader or are you a follower? I'm a leader. Like it, love it, or hate it, I'm a leader, and I was put in this role because I'm passionate. I don't mean to be mean, but all I can be is just me.
Thank you. We are now moving on to item 8.2, CSEA. Do we have anyone here? Oh, sorry. Thank you.
You're right, there is.
Sorry, Bill.
Bill Beecher and Chris Webb.
Well, that was terrific. Well, I was shocked that PVFT was against the proposed cuts at the last board meeting. In the short term, that will look good for the teachers, but may be terrible in the long term. If the district is forced into insolvency, then all of your contracts will become null and void. The state will cut your wages and maybe benefits in order to meet the required budget. Your move has bravado, but ignores the simple fact that the district added teachers and support staff after COVID-19, a 40% increase. Because of these increases, wages and benefits are now 93% of spending. You call for making cuts elsewhere. There is no other place. Would you want to turn off the heat, the lights, no books? If you were to cut everything else, that'd only be $20 million. You're $50 million short. Or if you really believe we should retain these recent hires, are you willing to take a 20% pay cut to meet the budget? I don't think so. Your move uses the rule that cuts have to be announced in March. By blocking these layoffs, the district has to wait a year before making cuts, making their budgeting process difficult. Ask Jenny. Throw in that Trump will probably cut federal funding for schools and that the state has been running budget losses for the last 2 years, and you might have taken a different tact. There will not be funding for all those extra people hired over the last 2 years. We need PVFT to be part of combining classrooms, closing schools, and moving charter schools into vacated facilities. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. To quote my late mother, what the hell were you thinking?
I want to thank Brandon for his advocacy, and I want to thank the members who've come out. I feel like they have been part of the solution. And I want to thank Trustee Medina for at the last meeting being part of the solution and really getting people focused on that. I think we need to reemphasize that. I would point out that the Sustainable Budget team did have a bunch of revenue generating ideas and savings ideas that were never really followed up on. The right way to do cuts and the like is not rushing them in short meetings and cutting public comment. That's not the way to do it. In fact, I feel like that's going to just make our problem worse. When I think of the declining enrollment and the cutting of programs, I feel like we are going in the wrong direction if we rush. Also, on the solutions-oriented mind, I want to again touch on something I thought of over the last couple of meetings. I had mentioned previously that we had a forum during the post-COVID time where dedicated teachers who were doing that extra second shift in person while it was still COVID, they could bring their kid and it was a non-issue. Well, my son has an ear situation where he randomly comes up with infections. Now, we could get a surgery, but the surgery puts him out for 2 weeks, and I only have 10 sick days, so that's an issue. So the last time he got one, which was last Friday, my wife just took him to school, and just like it was when I took him to school back in that time, wound up being like a really good thing for her students. And if it was here and that happens again, which I never know what it's going to be because he's in this vulnerable state for the rest of till summer comes when I can do the surgery, that could be me at any time. I would have to just take the time off because we don't have that protection. And not having that protection is important because it's not just a savings thing, it's actually an equity thing because sometimes kind of like the congressperson last night, if you speak out, you don't always get the same privileges with your admin as others do. So I just want to point that out. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, now we will move us on to item.
Ms. Flores.
Yes.
I kind of don't understand why my friend who's 83 and is going to bring an important message about safety of our students, why she doesn't get her 2 minutes. I don't understand.
She has another card coming up, and she will have her time.
She will have her time.
Yes.
Thank you.
If she has time coming up. Thank you. We now have 8.2 CSEA.
Your time's coming soon, okay? Good evening, trustees, cabinet members, and Superintendent Contreras. My name is Ashley Yoro, and I proudly serve as CSEA Chapter President. I appreciate the opportunity to address you all tonight on behalf of our dedicated, hardworking classified staff, the backbone of our schools. These are the people who feed our students, maintain our campuses, transport our children safely, and provide direct academic and behavioral support. They show up every day with commitment and heart, and they deserve to be valued and respected. Tonight, I also stand in full solidarity with PVFT because the success of this district depends on all employees, certificated and classified, alike. We working in a safe, supported, and sustainable conditions. A thriving district is not built on division. It is built on collaboration. I want to start by acknowledging that our outreach articles are finally being presented to you. Trustees, I urge you to accept them tonight so we can move forward with negotiations. It's unacceptable that we are already well into the year and our members have not yet have a real discussion about wages, job security, and working conditions. Our members have waited too long for the respect and fairness they deserve. Let's not delay. Let's get to the table and negotiate in good faith. Another critical issue is the layoff process. This just isn't about positions on paper. This is about real people with real families who face job loss and uncertainty. Some members have already lost benefits while others are being forced into impossible decisions. With PCCS closure vote approaching, we need to ask, what will this transition look like for staff at this site? How will we ensure that they are not left behind? And what is the district's plan to support them? Our members and staff should not have to endure unnecessary stress and anxiety. We need clear communication and a seamless process. Through these difficult moments, CSEA has stood with our members every step of the way. I want to take a moment to acknowledge Pamela Shanks, if she's still here, for her poise and fairness during these conversations and meetings. Pam, we see you and we appreciate you. Thank you. Where is the classified retirement incentive? Another glaring concern. Where is the teachers have theirs on the agenda tonight, we noticed. Once again, classified are left without an opportunity. Our employees have dedicated years and some decades of service to this district. If an incentive is being offered, why is it not equitable, I ask? I ask this board. What can we do to ensure classified staff are included in this discussion? Why are our most experienced employees not given the opportunity and same respect and opportunity and this opportunity? This is not just about fairness, it's about financial strategy. Offering a retirement incentive to classified employees creates real cost savings while allowing natural transitions, natural right sizing, true attrition. Let's talk about budget solutions. We need to be financially responsible, right? How do we balance cuts at the school site level with what's happening at the top? It's been reiterated at PVSD that we've been top heavy for years. If we truly value and are committed to sustainability, we need to ask hard questions. Ask them. Are we cutting unnecessary stipends? Are we frivolously spending and eliminating that? Are we assessing the leadership structure truly? Are we ultimately looking at removing TOSAs? Looks like we need them back in the classrooms because we cannot afford not to. This is not about taking away essential leaderships because I appreciate them. This is about taking a smart financial choice that reflects our district's true priorities. Tonight, I'm asking you to please stand with CSEA and PVFT for the greater good of our students, employees, and communities. Trustees, Sometimes the hardest decisions are not the ones cabinet wants you to make, but the ones that are truly best for this district. Do you understand what I'm saying? I urge you to listen. Please hear the people. Please hear the staff and the students. Let's work together with intention and make decisions that serve our entire community. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we will move on to item 8.4, CWA, our Communication Workers of America.
Testing, testing, all right. Good evening, Board of Trustees and Dr. Contreras and Cabinet. My name is Mike Floor. I'm representing CWA, Communication Workers of America, which is the union that represents the substitutes in our district. And I'm going to use tonight's time to talk about the substitutes in our district. I heard it said at the last board meeting that there were 38 positions that are held by long-term subs right now. They were referred to as underqualified teachers. And that rubbed me the wrong way a little bit, but to put it in perspective, and this is to the substitutes that might be watching this tonight or later, who might have been rubbed the wrong way about that, there is a designation between a qualified teacher in the classroom. That would be a teacher that's got the credential teaching that subject area with tenure, that's been in the class for a few years. That would be a qualified teacher in the classroom. The school report card designates between qualified and unqualified or underqualified. So substitutes that take a long-term job, an essential job, to fill that classroom with a credentialed teacher, the designation in comparison to a regular teacher is underqualified compared to qualified. We are all qualified in our own ways, and some subs are better than others. And we have a lot of really dedicated career substitutes in this district, more than other districts. Dr. Contreras told me that in one of our meetings, that she was impressed by the amount of full-time career substitutes in our district, and we do have quite a few of them. There were over 50 substitutes that got the bonus last year for working 100 days or more. Now, part of the work that I'm trying to do, and I don't have a bunch of stewards and other union members backing me up and prompting me up and encouraging me. It's really just been me, so I'm hoping to get a few more of those. That's one of the things that I'm working on. I ran for and got elected onto the board of Communication Workers of America, Local 9423, which is, like I've said in other meetings, AT&T's union. It's quite a learning experience for me. I don't know if I fit in with them yet. We are working out our first couple months, just like this board is doing too. But I do want to say, to close things out tonight, that in my meetings, my monthly check-in with Dr. Contreras, we have something coming that I haven't seen in my 20 years of substituting. And for the student committees that are working with Dr. Contreras that might be watching this, don't worry, we have you. We heard your concerns about upgrading the consistency of the substitutes that sub in your classrooms, especially the 2-hour blocks, where I'm not going to go into the negative realm, but you had some concerns and desires for that to improve. So we are working on upgrading the sub-hiring protocols. We're going to include training days for brand new substitutes, 2 half days. One's going to be shadowing a substitute, and the other's going to be sub-finder and more of the clerical stuff. And we're also going to have a training available for long-term subs, so they aren't just given a key and said, go teach our children. They're going to get a little bit of training. We're going to see these happen in the fall. We have people in position to write new things for the website, a best practices page, and then like an area where some of the ambiguous things you might experience when you get to a site, like the school changes your assignment when you get there, what are your rights? I'm not going to get into those right now, but we're going to be improving those too. So I'm working diligently to be part of that process and to find people that are willing to do that work. I'm willing to do that work too. So there's going to be some work done over spring break, and then in the summer, and you should see those changes reflected on the website for next school year. And then in closing, I also want to give my regards to Jenny M. I haven't known her very long, but she's been extremely supportive and an amazing hard worker. As I've evolved into my role as this steward, negotiator, and e-board member of CWA. And Dr. Contreras, I find you to be genuine and honest, and I am hoping that things improve for your work experience. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we will move on to item 8.4, PAVAM, Pajaro Valley Association of Managers.
Good evening. My name is Rich Moran. I'm Director of Language Arts, Social Studies, Ethnic Studies, and AVID. First of all, I'd like to thank our Board President, Ms. Flores, Vice President, Dr. Navarro, and our trustees for their work. I'd also like to thank the members of Cabinet for their continued effort, dedication, and tenacity. I'd like to thank our PVUSD classified certificated staff for your work and dedication to our students. And I'd also like to thank the members of CWA. Mr. Floor, I want to get you in there. Thank you all for your effort. It's greatly appreciated by the Pajaro Valley Association of Managers. So tonight, it's kind of weird. I can see you. I'm wearing glasses, so I can't see you when I put them on, so I may off and on. But I just really had two goals tonight. One was just to express gratitude. And it was express gratitude to you all, our cabinet, all of the employees here, all of us that are invested in education, all of us educators, our students that are still here, if you're watching students, members of the community. I think it's important now more than ever maybe to take the time to express gratitude to each other for the work that we're engaged in together as educators, as a community, and most importantly, on behalf of our students. So I had a bit more for you. I listed all of the positions and all of the folks from the school side up that make difficult decisions on an everyday basis. But in looking through that list, I'm sure I'd leave someone off mistakenly, and that probably wouldn't feel like the right thing to do. And after hearing some of the comments tonight, I thought I'd skip to the bottom because I think that's the best bit. So here it goes. All of us in education must make challenging decisions on the behalf of our students, staff, and families. And we do this work because all of us together have taken that responsibility. And in these positions, we open ourselves to both gratitude and criticism. I encourage you all of us here, to continue to do this work together, to continue to collaborate as professionals in a manner that is civil yet critical, so that we might serve as a model for our community, so that we might model what it looks like when professionals dispatch their duties to the best of their ability on behalf of those they serve, our students. And if we can do this work in this manner, we may be able to retain the right, the privilege to make these decisions together as a district for our future students. I'd also like to take the time to thank Ms. M on behalf of PVAM and personally. Thank you for modeling excellence, tenacity, and dedication. It's important to see, and it's important for others to see. So I'd like to thank all of you, everyone here tonight, in service on behalf of PVAM. Thank you.
Thank you. We are now going to move on to our consent agenda. Consent items are routine items coming before the board. But before we move on to that, I will see if there are any public speakers to consent agenda.
There are. Brandon Denise, Marilyn Garrett.
part of my comments were going to be to address 9.5 and ask that that get pulled so we can ask more questions. But I also was looking at 9.15, which seems pretty similar to 9.5. And so I'd like those to be pulled and questioned as well. To me, it seems just really ironic that 1 week ago, this board voted to lay off CTE teachers. And this week, we're going to vote to build significant and sustainable internal capacity in PVUSD by leveraging the expertise of Career Ladders Project, with the primary goal and outcome realized with PVUSD students having robust access to earning early college credit while in high school. I know it's grant funding and it's not going to impact the general fund, but are we really going to be able to rise to this lofty goal as we are reducing our CTE teachers? I would also like one of the board members to ask how the district plans to collaborate with the union on this. I would like to know if the union will have the opportunity to work with Career Ladders Project. I would like to know how much additional work a CTE teacher will need to do to teach a class that is dually enrolled. I would like to know if they will be receiving a stipend for this work. I would like to know why Dr. Contreras would rather work with consultants than with her own employees. I encourage each of the members of this board to research our CTE salary schedule, compare it to the surrounding districts, and then try to answer the question of, couldn't a prospective CTE teacher just make more by remaining in their profession than moving into education where their earnings are capped? So if we value the trades and we value CTE, then let's pay those people and be inventive with the way that we look at our salary schedule. So I ask that this be pulled just so we can learn some more, and then the irony of laying people off and then talking about how great they are while we do it.
Brandon, we've already removed 9.5 and 9.15 from this. Yeah, they're the same thing. They've already been removed. Marilyn.
I filled out an item for 2 different consent agenda items. Which one is first?
I apologize, I couldn't read the second number.
914.
Oh,
Okay.
one had to do with internet or.
9.14 and 9.19.
Okay, one is 9.14 and the other one is 9.19. Are we on 9.14?
Yes, that's the internet.
Okay, so this is, I didn't see a detailed agenda, but network infrastructure updates with the wireless microwave radiation and broadband. This is endangerment with microwave radiation, and I want to refer to another school district. Wyandotte Elementary School cell tower sparks strong protests, and you've put broadband at schools, Wi-Fi, antennas. Unfortunately, this is biologically endangering. In Michigan, parents are protesting the installation of 5G cell antennas at the elementary school. The story has resulted in near daily news coverage. U.S. Congressman Shri Thanedar released a press statement saying that the cell tower on top of the school is unacceptable. It's unacceptable here too. Michigan State Representative James DeZana intends a bill to restrict cell towers on equipment near the schools. Environmental Health Trust submitted a scientific letter on the health effects of cellular radiation to Michigan lawmakers in support of the bill. And professor speaks, it gives references. This has been brought to your attention before. We had a group years ago called Farm Without Harm. We need technology without harm. This is harmful and should not be having it. I'll leave you copies on that issue. And then the other one was on 9.19. Authorize zero-emission school bus and infrastructure submission of application. Now, I'd like you to start the timer again because this is on another agenda item. So these lithium batteries explode and catch on fire. This is a serious health hazard. Never again. Stop the 3 lithium-ion battery storage facilities proposed for Santa Cruz County. 2 are in your school district. Next to Aptos High School, 9 Minto Road. What's the problem with these? We're getting fallout from the fires. Right now, this is the 5th fire at Moss Landing. If this goes through, it's guaranteed to have more fires. And we should contact the Board of Supervisors. This school district should speak out against having this guaranteed harm forevermore in your school district vicinity. The dangers include thermal instability, thermal runaway, explosions, catastrophic fires. This is the 5th fire in Moss Landing, by the way. The battery fires release toxic smoke, ash, dangerous chemicals, including hydrogen fluoride, hydrogen cyanide, carbon monoxide, other fluorinated gases, and toxic heavy metals. This is the produce area for the country, Salinas Valley, Watsonville, and we have massive contamination compounded with the pesticides. This needs to be halted, and we need your voice in it. I'd like to see this on the next agenda. And if they tell you, oh, it's in the county jurisdiction where it's located at 90 Minto Road, well, the air and the poisons move all over. They don't say at the boundaries. Thank you. Never again.
Thank you.
Trustee Flores, can I say something really quick about the lithium batteries? In my area, I know that we were really impacted by that, especially Pajaro, Hall, Ohlone. One thing that I am doing is pushing for the county, because we did have an evacuation notice, to try getting families that $750 that they're entitled to per household. So if that is, especially if you have elder grandparents that are living with you, please contact me, Gabriel_Medina at pvusd.net, so I could forward you that information, and I'll also include it in my newsletter, because we get the short end of the stick a lot in that area. And I'm trying to hold Glen Church accountable, and I'm trying to hold the county accountable for all of these things. So thank you for bringing that up. And please, if you have been impacted by that, contact me so we can make sure that your family is getting that $750 that you're entitled to. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I will now ask, are there any items that the board wishes to defer? Trustee Medina?
We defer pool, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You're deferring them, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I would like to pull 9.23 MOU with North Monterey County Unified School District. And just a point of clarification, I have on here that we actually removed 9.4 and 9.5, but we didn't remove 9.15.
Yes, we were only removing 9.5 because it was a duplicate.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay. So then I could bring up 9.15, correct?
Yes.
Yes, then I would like to pull 9.15.
Okay, are there any other items any trustees would like to pull? Okay, seeing none. Trustee Medina, would you like to make a motion to that effect, please?
Yes, I would like to make a motion to pull items 9.23 and 9.15 to the deferred consent agenda.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Second. Thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? Okay, that passes 601. So now we will move on to our deferred items. We will start with item 9.15. Sure.
Do we need to approve the other consent agenda items?
I'm sorry. Yes, we do. Carol, thank you. Sorry.
Oh, and also, can I also pull 9.20? So I'll make an amendment to my motion. I'd like to pull 9.23, 9.2, and 9.15 for the consent agenda to the deferred agenda, and I would like to approve the remaining consent agenda items.
Okay, so just to be clear, 9.15, 9.20, and 9.23. Yes. Perfect, okay. And we have a second. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Any abstaining? Any opposed? Any abstaining? Okay, so motion passes 501 to approve all those, except we will move on to our deferred items. So we will start with item 9.15. That is the PVUSD CTE Program and Career Ladder Project Grant-Funded Statement of Work for Dual Enrollment Programming Development. Do we have someone to speak to this item? Okay, what are your questions?
Yeah, if I could have
Yeah,
specific.
you could answer them. Yeah, so one of my questions was that I know Cabrillo's offering courses at PV High School. And that wouldn't cost the district any money because it's grant funded. But can you confirm if any district funds, especially CTE funding, would be used for that partnership at all?
Okay, rephrase that question one more time. I'm not sure I understand it in how it pertains to the career ladders.
Yeah, it's under CTE. Oh, yeah, because dual enrollment is connected to Cabrillo, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm just curious, is that fully grant funded, or are we going to be contributing any sort of money to that as well as a district?
So dual enrollment covers a variety of course options that students can take from like core content classes like that they would need towards graduation requirements like Spanish, ethnic studies even, art, and then there's also trades courses that would be in CTE. So dual enrollment is any type of course that a student would be dually enrolled in, so taking high school courses, but then also at Cabrillo College. So it covers multitude, not just CTE, but then also content courses. So career ladders, for this particular piece, is covering would refer to CTE enrollment courses, but I don't believe it's just limited to PV High School, because I think you just said PV High School, but rather courses offered through PVUSD.
Also, I will point out, and I'm sorry that Julie Edwards, I'm assuming that we were meant to pull both of these, but because I think she would have been here, because she did actually let me know about this amazing grant that we did receive, and she was really excited to be able to present it to us. So this, it says here, it has no impact on PVUSD's general fund. The statement of work for Career Ladders Project is attached here, and it's going to be funded by a restricted funds grant. So, yeah. And this grant is specifically, like, it has to be used for specific items, so this aligns with that.
So, and I think when we had the meeting with Julie online, these are just opportunities that enrich and enhance what we're able to fund through our general fund. And so it's one of the ways that PVUSD, and one of the things we're really good at is looking through how we can augment our general fund by going after different grants that allow us to enhance our programming. And so this one in particular helps to build out that CTE programming and offer more experiences for our students by bringing in dollars through the grant, but then the grant has particular things that we have to fulfill.
Got it. And then another question that I have is, does this partnership impact any of the layoffs that we approved at all?
No.
Perfect. And let's see, being directed support partners. Yeah, and so let's say a student does go into the dual enrollment class, let's just say 6 period or 7 to make it easier, and they are dually enrolled in the class I teach, Digital Media 1. What would happen to the teacher who would traditionally run that class during 6th period while the students are dually enrolled?
I don't know, what do you, like if you were teaching the class, like if you're a Cabrillo College professor teaching that course, is that what you mean?
Yeah, because my understanding, so if we're offering a media class, right, and students are dually enrolled in that, and it's during, I don't know, like video production 2, right? Some students, let's say they beyond that skill set. So those students could be dually enrolled, correct, with Cabrillo College. And I guess what I'm asking is, would that remove ADA from us, and would that contribute to more layoffs because we are utilizing Cabrillo?
No. So there's a variety of ways dual enrollment can be structured. I'm not sure in the Career Ladders project, and maybe Michael Berman knows more about this structure. So dual enrollment can be taken like outside of the school day. So just a student who's really involved in school, wants to augment their classes and take additional classes, can say, you know what, I'm taking my regular high school classes, and in addition, I'm super interested in video production and I'm going to take a course in the evening. So they can do it that way, which would have no impact on anyone at all, except for Cabrillo, who would be bringing in students to their coursework. Cabrillo also does get paid to offer dual enrollment classes that are concurrent enrollment for our high school classes, and then their instructors get paid to offer courses to our high school students who are currently enrolled in our high school classes and have a supervising FTE with our own high school teachers at the same time, who would be like a supervising teacher.
So they wouldn't be replacing a teacher?
No.
Okay, that's what I wanted to get at. Thank you.
We still, no matter what, under any circumstances, we have to have a credentialed teacher in the classroom.
Okay, good, yeah. I remember I did the
During the school
dual.
day.
Yeah, I did dually enrolled. I believe we did it 6th period for Video Academy, and the support that the students needed to go into those college courses are quite different than, let's say, right, you have your video production 2 students, and then those who are excelling more because they want to go into film, so maybe taking that video production course would make sense, but I also don't want to impact low enrollment if a lot of those students aren't going to video production 2 and instead going to dual enrollment. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. So in dual enrollment, that happens concurrently during the school day. The model is that there's still, and there has to be, a credentialed high school teacher. Now, there's different if you're leaving the campus and going to a college class. That's a different model. But if it's on the school campus, then there needs to be a credentialed teacher in the classroom.
Awesome, thanks. And Daniel, if you miss an assignment in a dually enrolled course, do you get to make it up?
Which one are you talking about out of the 3?
You need some sleep, man. You need some sleep, Daniel.
Okay, is there any other discussion from any of the board members? Okay, Trustee Medina, would you like to make a motion? Well, we have to do it each. We have to do each one.
Yeah, I would like to make a motion to approve 9 oh my gosh, what was it again? 1.5, thank you.
Thank you.
That's yours, huh, Berman? That's why you said that.
We have a first, and Trustee Turley seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? That passes 6-0-0. Okay, and now we will move on to item 9.20, new class descriptions, music sorry, I can't talk right now. Accompanist.
Yeah, and that one's, I get tongue-tied all the time. Yeah, so my question for this was, is this music accompanist position funded by Prop 28?
Yes, that is a position funded by Proposition 28.
Beautiful. And another one is could this potentially be a certificated position? If it is, can you confirm?
Classified. This is listed as, oh yeah, go ahead, Pam. I'm stealing your thunder, sorry.
Good evening, I'm Pam Shanks, I'm the Director of Classified Personnel. No, this position does not require a teaching credential. It requires a certain set of skills, but it helps support the teacher in the classroom.
Awesome, and Is it part-time?
Yes, most likely it would be part-time, kind of actually more on like a limited term basis because the hours are kind of not necessarily scheduled and regular perhaps, but yes, it would be part-time.
Got it. And we don't have somebody in this current position right now?
No, it's a brand-new job description. We don't have any job descriptions that cover this work, and so that's why we're creating it.
Sweet. Okay. Those were my questions. Unless anybody else has anything.
I have a question.
Trustee Flynn?
Yes. I understand the importance of this role, and I'm wondering if this person would be able to move between sites, and would it ever be a full-time position that could be more district-wide so that this person's available for anything throughout the school day if there's a choir and there needs to be a accompanist during a class?
That's always a possibility. I will be working with the coordinator of VAPA on figuring out what the positions actually look like.
I actually have a question. So Prop 28 money is designated to each site. So is that correct? Like each site has their Prop 20? And now, yes. So how is this, is a specific campus requesting this and their Prop 28 money is going to cover this position?
Currently, Aptos High School is the site that's requesting this classification. But again, we create classifications to cover assignments throughout the district. So it is possible that a position could be funded with multiple site monies.
Multiple site monies,
within
okay.
Prop 28.
Yes, that's okay. Thank you. Because I know it's per site. So if another site is interested, the door has been opened now. Okay, sure.
Oh, I was going to ask, do you think we could get a list of the sites and how their Prop 28 funding is being used, like such as the teachers and the courses?
I think that's probably something Stephanie Monroe or Claudia could provide because they've got the broader scope of that program.
So Stephanie and I are actually currently working on that because we're looking at what staffing is right now by courses, starting with high school, and then where we need to go for next year in terms of putting requisitions in.
Got it. I have a few cousins that are moving from Texas, about 20 of them, and I'm making sure they go to Pajaro Middle School so we could get more Prop 28 funding. So, okay, cool. Yeah.
Okay, so any other discussion from the board? Are we ready? I'm ready for a motion.
Make a motion.
Trustee,
I can second it.
Trustee
You want to
Flynn?
fight about it?
Trustee Flynn made a motion to approve item 9.20.
I will second.
Trustee Navarro has seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? That passes 601. Oh, sorry, 6001. Okay, and now we will do item 9.23, an MOU with North Monterey County Unified School District to provide state instructor assistance for school bus drivers. Trustee Medina?
Yeah, I know that we are getting a new director, which I'm really excited about, for transportation. And I just want to use this item to ask a few questions because I noticed that we have been having a few bus cancellations. What happens when a bus route is canceled? Are those students somehow taken to school, or is it just like a whoops?
Hi, I can
Jenny,
hopefully...
I promise you I'm not picking at you. I did not know you were in transportation. I'm sorry.
No, this is, I think these are really important questions.
Cool.
I have really great news. So our new Director of Transportation, Sarah Lemke, started on Friday. And I can say after her first day, I got a plethora of messages of people just saying how much they love her. She's also a state certified bus instructor, so I think she is going to be a real asset for our district. So we currently have been in a nationwide shortage of transportation drivers. In California especially, we've been hit pretty hard by COVID. Currently in our transportation department, we have around 19 to 20 vacancies. We have a total of 58 routes in our district, and I think we can be really proud that we are one of the only districts in our county that offers free home-to-school transportation for our gen ed students. So we have 50 routes. That does not include, I believe, our special ed routes that are covered by both White Fleet, and we have contracts with Michaels to provide those services. What happens is sometimes we have absences, we have employees who might be on leave. Our bus fleet is also aging, so sometimes we have buses that break down, and it might take an extended period of time to fix that. So we do have 8 amazing, what we, in our district, we call floaters. So these are bus drivers who have taken on the extraordinary task of they get new routes every single day, so that is kind of an extra stressor, and they're doing this to help the district. So some days, unfortunately, we have absences that exceed the capacity of our 8 drivers. So in that case, we have employees in dispatch, fuelers, employees in the shop, trainers who volunteer to work overtime to drive as well. I looked at, we kind of monitor how many absence or bus routes we have to cancel. Most days, unfortunately, we do average between 1 to 2 routes. On a bad day, sometimes it can get as high as 8 or so. So that is something that we are always working to reduce. I think one thing that we have been really good about is we train our own drivers. So the rigor of having to get certified, both through CDE and CHP, are very, very rigorous. So sometimes we'll start a cohort with 40 to 50 interested participants, and by the time it's time to be certified, we might have down to 8. So
that is a crazy process. What do you guys have them do?
So that is something that we are working on, and I think our new director is going to come in with a lot of great ideas because this is her background and her specialty.
Awesome.
The
And
inspection.
do you know, I'm just very curious, since you're saying on a good week, 1 to 2, on a bad week, 4 to 8. Have you compiled how many students that have not been able to get to school? Because I'm very curious about what the ADA would be on that, because we are essentially losing money, right? Because we won't get that money back. So do you think you guys could compile that data for me? I'm just very curious, from the beginning of this year, how many routes have been canceled, and roughly how many students have not been able to come to school? That way we could calculate how much money that is.
Definitely. It does have an impact on EDA. That is something that we have been monitoring. We have some ideas in the works that we're planning to bring to CSCA during the next round of negotiations around supporting that. There was actually a pilot program that our interim director, Mona, started to kind of see what the impact was. So there are some ideas in the works, and we are going to be working with CSA closely to see how we can support getting our routes covered more easily.
Awesome. And do we have a partnership with the Metro so students could get on the bus for free with their student IDs?
No, I'm sorry. So we do, and that is something that we have been advertising throughout the year as well.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I know I do get a few students who just miss the bus in the morning, but they're just waiting out there because the route comes in, I think, around 9, so they'll get to school by 9:30, 10. I mean, yeah, 9:30, 10. And, is there a process in place where they don't get penalized for that? They get excused for that. Okay, cool. All right. Those were my questions.
Okay. And Trustee Navarro, you had a couple questions?
Yeah, so I don't expect you to give me this information off the top of your heads, but it would be really interesting to see the ridership per routes and if there's any way that we can consolidate. And I know we're in a time of budgets, but I've seen the salaries for the bus drivers, and they're really, really low. And, it is important to get our kids to school, so is there maybe some wiggle room on that? As a parent, it upsets me every day when I get these emails of routes canceled, and I can't imagine if I was a parent actually relying on this to get my kid to school. So, I do think it's a really important issue. So I would be interested in knowing the ridership, if routes can be consolidated, if there is a metro that already does that similar route that may be an alternative option, and then also looking at the salaries because they're far below what the metro uses. And as much as people love our students and I love our district, at the end of the day, they have to do what's best for their pocketbooks.
And I think you make really important points. So I know in the last couple years, there have been consolidation of routes, mostly due to the vacancies that we're experiencing and the bus driver shortages. I believe we consolidated 13 routes. And we're always looking to kind of see how do we make our routes more efficient while having the least amount of impact on students having to maybe walk, or we're looking at like what intersections are crossing, things like that. I think absolutely our amazing bus drivers, they are not paid what they should be. I think we can kind of say that across the board for a lot of our classified workers. One thing that we should start looking into is reclassification studies. And this is why as a district, it is important to make sure that we are right-sized and we're staffed appropriately, because what that does is it allows resources to be freed up to be able to look at what we can do to put that maybe on the salary schedule across the board, to do things like regular rotational reclassification studies. And those are some long-term goals and strategies to retain and attract employees.
Is it also possible to have like a on-call stipend, if you will? Like if somebody comes in to cover a route that's being canceled, giving them some sort of bonus? Sometimes we do that when we bring in people to cover shifts.
So that's a great question. We can look into that. I know that we've done stipends for things like summer school, after school programs, because our bus drivers are having to do longer days and come in during the summer. We're also, as part of an MOU, we offer a split shift differential. So when we have bus drivers who are doing AM runs, so they're coming in very early in the morning, and then usually there can be about 4 hours where they're not working. So it makes it hard for our employees then to maybe get like a second job or go home. So they get paid the split shift differential so that they can do the PM run. And our drivers are so dedicated that they'll pick up field trips during the day, and then they'll do another run for athletics or like after school programs in the PM. So our school bus drivers are some of the most dedicated, passionate employees I've ever met. So absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a good colleague who works at Lyft, and I know that several schools in Los Angeles actually have a contract just in case a route can't make it, that the students would get lifted there. I will send you his contact information to see if we could get something like that. And also that would be a good job creator for folks in the area too, to just, well, they'd have to be credentialed and go through the process. But, you know, just, yeah, you use it in Modesto? Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was a student lift, so maybe looking into something like that. Got you. Yeah, and Lyft is really good because they really love getting back to the community. And I know the person, my colleague over there, he's actually from Moss Landing, so he's really impacted by the Vistra fires. He actually donated masks to Hall and Ohlone when that was happening. So they're really all about giving back. So I'll put you in contact with them to see if we can work something out.
Thank you. Yes, I know when I first came on the board, I had suggested to reclassify, because I was saying, you know, when Metro is our competitor and but you know, and I was told then, you know, they will. And what that does is as outside agency will come and look at all bus drivers, like all around, and compares it, but they do also look at benefits and salary, and they just to see if we're too low or where we're at. But I think it would be worth looking into, especially for our transportation. And okay, so do we have a motion on the table?
Yeah, I move to approve 9.23.
Second. Thank you. I have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? That passes 6001. Okay, and so that concludes our deferred consent agenda items, and I will now move us on to item 11, public hearing. 11.1 CSEA Chapter 132 Sunshine Proposal to PVUSD for the 2024-2025 school years. Report will be presented by Angelica Renteria, Interim Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources.
Good evening, President Flores, Board of Trustees, and Superintendent Dr. Contreras. My name is Angelica Renteria, Interim Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources. Government Code Section 3547 requires initial bargaining proposals to be presented for public comment. This hearing provides the opportunity for the public to comment on this sunshine proposal that is presented by the California School Employees Association, Local Pajaro Chapter 132 to PVUSD and includes 11 articles. This item is coming back later in the agenda as an action item.
Thank you. So again, like she mentioned, this is the public hearing part of it. We are going to bring this item back in our action items. But do we have any public speakers to this item? We do not. Any discussion from the board? Seeing none, I thank you, Ms. Renteria, and I will now move us on to our action items. We will start with item 12.1, Pacific Coast Charter School. Report will be presented by Heather Gorman, Interim Executive Director of Student Support Services.
Good evening, President Flores, Dr. Contreras, and Board of Trustees. Thank you, and I will get us started on this presentation. So, as always, our vision and mission, and I'd like to look at just a couple of things with this. So one of the key words or phrases to think about tonight as we go through this presentation is a vision for every student to graduate and our commitment to cultivate a nurturing environment for our students. And our strategic goals, and we wanted to create an academic excellence, culture, and community. So I want to start with, because I know this has been a challenging time, I think, for PCCS. It's a lot that has gone into looking at what we need to do moving forward with PCCS, and I really want to honor them. And I know I've jumped into this position and really have gotten to know some of the teachers and how PCCS is run. I've known PCCS for a long time, but I really do appreciate what they offer to our students and our families, and I don't want to see that go away. And I really want to make that clear, is that I want to be able to create a program that is going to serve our students in a way that is unique and meets their needs, because not all of our learners are the same. Some of our students have anxiety, some of our students don't want to be at a big comprehensive high school, so we have unique learners. And so PCCS, I think, filled a hole for our learners that we really want to see continue. So they were founded for community needs. They were established 25 years ago. They're a flexible learning environment designed collaboratively by the district and staff. And when they first started, they had differences, like their operation. It was more flexible than traditional schools, and state accountability measures and data requirements didn't initially apply. So when we're looking at some changes over time, the shifting student population, changes in home learning environments have impacted enrollment. PCCS has declining enrollment, resource constraints, accountability, and renewal risk. If we were to look at the renewal now, what we were looking at is that it would not go through. And right now, they're a low-performing school. The present data, though, really looking at that, is that I have gotten to know some of the teachers, not all of them, but some of the teachers, and we've just started working together. And they're devoted staff. They care about their students deeply, and they care about the families in the community. The declining California dashboard performance is one of the things that we were looking at. Declining graduation rates, increased chronic absenteeism. And I'll let you go through, but there's a lot of different reasons why something like this could happen, and it can be one or two students, and it is throwing off a lot of the data, so we're looking at it. But I know that, people, when I've gotten to know them, are really trying hard to support the students at PCCS. So our next proposed steps for PCCS, and it's following our Assembly Bill 1505, that we are recommending that we close PCCS June 30th, 2025, so at the end of this year. So the Board of Trustees has the final say, and that's what I'm here for tonight, is to propose this as an action item that you would actually vote to close the school. Early meetings with staff and stakeholders acknowledge the readiness for closure, and a task force will be formed, and I'm already starting this process. This Friday, I have a meeting with teachers to start looking at, how are we going to rebuild? What are we going to look at? Students and staff are guaranteed placement in the district to continue to teach and learn in the same non-classroom based environment. And there'll be no disruption of services for students and parents. Especially there's one of the CDE standards, or it's like for students that have special needs or for students that have a variety of learning differences. So we want to make sure that we're meeting the needs of all of the students. So one of the things, I went to a council meeting, and the PCCS council actually voted on this, and it was important for them. Sorry, am I over now? It's almost, okay. They voted on this, but it was also very important to them to kind of look at what their, when you do a vote, how you say what you're voting on. So this is their statement. The Governing Council of PCCS voted to move forward with a closure for the transition of PCCS to a district program with this statement. Pacific Coast Charter School Governing Council is in agreement with PVUSD's recommendation to discontinue ongoing operations, close Pacific Coast Charter School on June 30th, 2025, and create a PVUSD district independent study program that will continue to honor PCCS students and families' individual learning goals. It is our understanding that the current PCCS teaching staff will remain in the program and that in-person instruction will continue. PCCS families and staff will participate in the decision-making process to build the new program. And just to, and they voted on that and it passed. And so, and to reiterate too, I think some of the things that they're wanting to make sure happens is that they do have some in-person classes, and that we continue and honor that for the students that really do want to come in, and it's at a different site. Right now, they've all been at the district office, and they have bird watching classes and art classes, so we are committed to continue that. So next steps, and looking at an independent study program, is there are some things that I'm calling them our must-dos and our can-dos. So on the slide right here is our must-dos when you're looking at the time for TK to third grade, 1 hour a day, fourth to sixth grade. This is online learning. And there's a variety of ways that we can do this, but these are those. And then as we're looking at this, I'm also knowing that, in a couple of months, we can't reinvent the wheel. So we have some good, spokes that we're starting with and looking at, and these are the types of things that I'll bring forward to the teaching group, the parent group, to look at, to say, okay, what do we want to build in this, knowing these are the things that we have to do, and then how can we augment and support the unique needs of the families and the staff that are going to be in the program. So that's public comment, but my recommendation is that you move forward and approve the closure of PCCS.
Thank you. And I do see we have some public comments.
Brandon Denise, Joan Lings Whistler, and Gayla Haskins.
All right, I'm back. At this time, PCCS is not meeting the essential requirements to continue as a charter school in the PVUSD. What I would implore the board to ask is why? So what are the underlying issues that have caused PCCS to not be meeting those requirements? Don't just let the district blame previous superintendents and administration, because I know that'll be the first card that gets played. As the district seeks to evolve PCCS and the virtual academy into a new program, a program that I believe has a lot of good and value, the district should be accountable for their failures. I fear that if we do not hold the district accountable for their failures, we're going to be doomed to repeat those failures. PCCS has had something like 9 principals last year. Positions go unfilled. They haven't received the adequate support that they need from the district. So I think it's felt like the writing's on the wall that some people there, I don't want to speak for them, may have felt that this is kind of the district's plan all along. We're just not going to support you. We're going to watch you fail, and then we'll be able to change. So really, that's just what I want to speak to is what are the reasons why? And let's hold the district accountable in figuring that out, or else we're just going to be doomed to repeat our mistakes. Thank you.
So I'm Joan Lings Whistler, and this is Gayla Haskins. We're current teachers at PCCS, and Gayla's donating her time so that I can read something to represent our staff. It's been a tumultuous couple of years for us, and I wanted to express some things and actually kind of follow up what Brandon was saying with some of the reasons that this has happened. So first of all, we are in agreement, the staff and the governing council, of which both of us are part of, that it is time for us to move on to a different model. It's not feasible to renew it at this time, but I wanted to add a little bit of information to that. So we were not informed as a staff that there were any problems regarding our charter renewal status until last spring. And that was after about 6 interim principals had served at PCCS in one school year. Since then, we have had about 5 more interim principals, including our current principal, Stefan Lovell, and also Nicole Marsh, who was initially hired to be our principal at PCCS, but then was pulled by the district to Pajaro Middle School full-time early in the school year. This last loss of our principal is a good example of why PCCS staff has never felt that we had the full support of PVUSD. Although we are a district charter, we have been a well-kept secret because most of the district is unaware of the role we have been playing in PVUSD for 25 years. We PCCS teachers want you to know that our low test scores are not because our students received a subpar education at our school, but because the majority arrived at PCCS already having fallen behind. So it's unfortunate that our metrics are so low on the California dashboard and other data that is contributing to our closure. I actually just found out today that the LCAP that our staff and governing council worked really hard to complete last year was never received by the county. That was a shock to me. If district admin had been looking out for us, we could have known that these issues needed to be addressed, and we would have worked hard to fix them. So it is very sad that by the time we found out, it was too late. So moving forward, our staff asks that Dr. Contreras, board members, and cabinet, please do show your support for this program by number 1, hiring a permanent on-site administrator for our program, as we, as Brandon said, cannot afford to make further mistakes due to a lack of leadership during what will be a difficult transition. And 2, honor all of the many success stories that we've had in 25 years of existence at our school by truly listening to our staff and allowing us to implement what we know works. We do feel very lucky to be working with Heather Gorman, who is willing to listen to our PCCS community and is working to address our concerns. And lastly, we PCCS teachers are very hopeful that we can take this opportunity to create a new program that takes the best aspects of our school and becomes something even better. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now I will move on to discussion from the board. Any questions from the board? Okay, Daniel?
So when I met with our inter-high committee yesterday, we have some PCCS students there, and I just asked them, because I always present the agenda and, get feedback. One of the questions that they had was, are students just going to be on the computer, or will they still have the opportunity to meet with teachers on a weekly basis?
They will still have that opportunity.
Okay, perfect. And then I know it was discussed too, I know at the last board meeting, there was discussion about should this close, then the district office could be potentially rented. Is that something that would be feasible, potentially?
Oh, if
Yeah, like if this were to,
the second floor? Oh,
yeah,
is that-
or just where the
Like,
school is
would their
located.
location be?
Yeah.
Oh, so what we're anticipating is they still are located at the district office, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Trustee Medina?
Yeah, I had, when I was working at the Digital Nest, I had a few students that were at PCCS. And that was such a good learning opportunity for them, because I did see them struggle with anxiety or being social with other students, and it was really hard for them. But they would always say that they really appreciated PCCS. So I was really sad to hear that it was gonna, that we're gonna have to do this with the charter. But I'm hoping that you all do get the support. That's something that I want to commit to you all, because that's not fair that you didn't have your admin to give you that information that you needed in order to be successful. And I apologize for that, and I hope that we could do a better job at that, especially coming into this next iteration of the program. So with that being said, I apologize, but at the same time, I'm looking forward to what y'all gonna bring next, right? And I'm a tech guy. I work at Cabrillo. Let me know if y'all need help with anything. AI is the next big thing. I'm trying to get Heather on it right now. We'll get there. But I've always seen PCCS as forward thinking in terms of mental health and mental support for our students, and I hope that gets carried over as well. So I want to say thank you all for your time. I know it's really hard, but you did impact a lot of students, and you did a damn good job with them. So be very proud of that, okay? Yeah, thank you.
Yes, I am actually thankful that we have I don't know what this new model is going to be called, but it's similar to what we had. It's like a hybrid of PCCS and Virtual Academy. And I know when we closed down Virtual Academy, we had some students who were struggling with that. And so I'm excited to see that we have this other opportunity to offer some of our students that would need that, because they struggle with the traditional classrooms of 30, some students. So I think that's great. Did you want to speak to this new model at all, or?
Well,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say there will be a presentation later tonight about Virtual Academy.
Okay.
And it's a report, so we'll be talking a little bit about that and some of the combination. And I think part of this, and I didn't go into in depth what the new model is going to look like, and partly because I really do want to commit to working with the teachers and the students and looking at, what exactly is going to be needed and how it's going to work. So I need to get that input before putting it all together. I know there's not a lot of time. So after this, it's like we're going to be on a race to get everything in place. But we have some really good models to go by. I think we're looking at Modesto Virtual Academy. I think they have 2,000 students, and so they have a really good program that we're like, okay, what can we pull? And so then I can present and talk to it. And sorry if you want to say more to it.
No, I think, when I came on board, one of the first things I learned was the struggles of PCS, the multiple principals. I went to visit the program, and I went into the office, and there was no one in the office. And that was my first heads up that things were not right and that there was a struggle there. And then I also learned right away the huge passion of the teachers for the students, and also that this was a safety haven for many of our students. I then learned, though, the struggles of the program under the model that existed. And I think this is a little bit of a testimony of a way to serve our students with, I hope, to be a model very similar, but just some workarounds so that we don't have to do some of the compliance things that are barriers for the program. And so I think this is kind of some of that innovative and creative thinking to honor the teachers and the vision that they have and have had for 25 years for this program, and to have program options for our families, and to have that collaborative work with teachers and Heather, and like, how do we still honor what that vision is as we move forward and continue to serve them. And so I'm excited for I hope what the future holds. I also understand too that change is hard. And so there is a little bit of mourning too. And I just want to say that for the teachers who are here, that there is that, but I think also on the precipice of excitement too for what it can be, and the opportunities that we will still be able to provide for our students.
With opportunities, would students be able to enroll in dual enrollment that are strictly online for this new virtual academy, so they could also participate in getting that additional credit? Because I know we offer Digital Media 1 online, and students would just need access to the Adobe Creative Cloud.
I love that idea, and so it's definitely like, I want to take a note and
okay, cool.
like, okay, how can we do this and what does it look like? So those are some of the things. And when you hear a little bit more about what we're thinking about with Virtual Academy, that's where we can kind of start to think about how all those things will work.
Sweet. And then second thing, to the teachers that are here, there's this really cool concept called Teo in Nahuatl philosophy, and that means change and repetition. When one thing goes, a better thing comes. And I just feel like I'm getting that sense right now. So y'all have very high Teo, and I appreciate it, and I can't wait to see what y'all do.
Trustee Carrasco.
And then I just wanted to say that I got the privilege to work with 2 of your students over the summer. I'm not sure if they found out through our high school internship, but one of the things that I remember them saying was that they really appreciated being able to do visual art with other students that also enjoyed visual art. So if you have any students who are elementary, middle school, high school, we have programs at Arte del Corazon, after school programs and high school internships that those students can also take advantage of. Most of them are free. And I know that they were saying how art was a lot more fun when you had 3 other people to sit down and work with on the same thing or similar projects. So reach out to me if you have any students who are into visual art, because we have the programs as well. And it helps kind of getting out of their houses and talking to other people. I noticed that that was a big thing for them, and I really did see them flourish throughout the summer.
Great. Trustee Medina. You're fine.
Okay. We're going to start moving to an asynchronous model with our creative careers class. And essentially what we do is we take artists and we teach them how to develop a business out of that. And last year we had theater students who created a haunted house, and they got $500 to put that on. So if you have artists, Jessica and I are really big in the arts. So we want to help you all as much as we can, because Cabrillo is starting to go online with a lot of courses, and it would be amazing if some of those students could take that, because they're really good artists from what I saw when they were working with Jessica. So just throwing that out there.
Perfect. And I would be looking for a motion also. I know it's a hard motion to make, but yeah.
I just want to say that I hope the next iteration of this is successful. And I know that change, like you said, is hard. And I appreciate all that you have done at your school, and I look forward to seeing what comes next. And I like the creative ideas about trying to get as much opportunity for your students going forward. In that vein, I move to approve this motion.
Okay. Okay, I have a motion to approve the closure of PCCS, and I have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? Okay, that motion passes 6-0-0-1. And I look forward to seeing what is in store for the future for PCCS. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will now move us on to item 12.2, approve variable term waiver request for Margaret Herring, a speech and language pathologist. Report will be presented by Brian Saxton, Director of Human Resources, certificated.
Good evening, President Flores, Superintendent Dr. Contreras, and Board of Trustees. My name is Brian Saxton. I'm the Director of Human Resources for our certificated staff. I come to you tonight for your approval for a variable term waiver. This is a waiver that allows for a certificated staff member to have a little extra time to get an intern or another type of credential. This one is for a speech and language pathologist who is enrolled in a program and just needs a little more time to complete her intern. And so what this will allow her to do is teach the rest of the year, or not teach, but be an SLP for the rest of the year while she finishes her program. So we respectfully request your approval of this item.
Perfect, thank you. We have no speakers to this item, and we have a motion on the floor to move to approve.
I second.
We have a second. Do we have any discussion before I take a vote? See none. Oh, sorry, Trustee Medina.
Science at California University, Northridge, CSUN. Oh, that's in-state. I have no questions.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion passes 6-0-0-1. Thank you. I will now move us on to item 12.3, Memorandum of Understanding with PVFT 2024-2025 Summer School Pay Rates. Report will be presented by Brian Saxton, Director of Human Resources, certificated. Welcome back.
Good evening, President Flores, Dr. Contreras, and Board of Trustees. It's me, Brian Saxton, and I'm here to request your approval for a memorandum for summer school for the hours and the actual pay rates for our summer school staff. We worked with Jen Bruno and her expanded learning department and PVFT to come up with this MOU. And so essentially our teachers who work summer school, whether that's in the extended school year, which is our special ed summer school, our migrant summer school with Luis Medina and his program, or for the expanded learning, which is Jen Bruno's program, will all receive their hourly per diem. So we take their daily rate and divide that by 7.5 hours to get their hourly per diem. And then if they happen to work additional hours outside of the standard expanded school day, they will be paid their hourly per diem as well. So we kindly request your approval of this MOU.
Perfect, thank you. I love that we have this opportunity for our children, our students. So do we have no speakers to this comment, so do we have any discussion from the board?
Move to approve.
I second.
Okay, I have a first and a second. Any discussion from the board before I take a vote? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? Thank you, motion passes 6-0-0-1.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now I move us on to item 12.4, accept Sunshine proposal from CSEA Chapter 132 for 2024 through 2025 school year. Report will be presented by Angelica Renteria, Interim Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources.
Good evening again, Angelica Renteria. As presented in public hearing, CSEA has submitted its initial Sunshine proposal for the 24-25 school year. This proposal has 11 articles, and the district recommends that the Board of Education accept CSEA's Sunshine proposal as presented.
Thank you so much. And we have no public speakers to this item. Do we have any discussion from the board? Okay,
Who's going to race to make the motion?
A motion.
Yeah, I motion to approve. Can you scroll up? That way I can see the number. Where are we at? Item number, there we go. I move to approve 12.4.
Okay, I have a motion to accept the Sunshine proposal. Joy, did you want a second? Because I know you.
Yes, I'll second.
Okay, we have a second from Trustee Flynn. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? That passes 6001. Okay, and now I will move us on to item 12.5, a side letter of agreement with PVFT, retirement incentive for certificated employees. Report will be presented by Brian Saxton, Director of Human Resources, certificated.
Good evening again, President Flores, Superintendent Dr. Contreras, and Board of Trustees. My name's Brian Saxton. I'm the Director of Human Resources for Certificated, and I come to you tonight again for to request your approval for this retirement incentive for our certificated staff. It mirrors the one we presented a while ago, with the exceptions of it moves the date you could submit your retirement back to July 1st and extends it to March 10th, as well as it takes away the 30 people that we asked for as a requirement. And then it also encompasses all certificated employees. So if they fall into the PVFT contract, which includes our ECE, our adult ed, those types of staff, then they would be eligible for this as well. And management, sorry.
Okay, that is good news. We do have a speaker to this item.
Brandon.
Just being consistent. Brandon Denise, PVFT. I just wanted to speak to this item to thank Brian and Angelica both. When this item came up last time, I came up here and I was frustrated, and I felt like us at that table were all on the same page, and then the superintendent's office made it a little more difficult for us to come to an agreement. And I stated that Angelica was hard at work, going to the fourth floor, coming back, and she's doing that because she cares. And I know that Angelica cares. And so it's been a pleasure to get to work with Angelica in this new role for me and in a new role for her. I think that you all should really pay your respects to her, because she came in and helped steady that HR department. That assistant superintendent of human resources is not an easy job. And she stepped into that role and she gave it her absolute best. And at no time have I ever felt, being at the table with Angelica, that we couldn't work together. So I just wanted to pay my respects to Angelica and thank her and Brian both for getting this done. So thank you.
Thank you, Angelica. We know how wonderful you are. Okay, so do we have any discussion from the board? Okay, Trustee Trustee Turley?
It seems fair and reasonable to me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm curious if we are going to be, I know we received an email from just like one classified staff who's been in the district for quite some time. And he put in a lot of work, he did his dues. And I'm wondering if we're going to extend this out also to our classified staff as well.
Jenny, do you want to speak to that a little bit?
So we did an analysis for both the certificated and the classified side to look at how many employees were eligible for the early retirement incentive. So we looked at years of service, we looked at their ability to retire from STRS and PERS, and what their full pension benefit would be. On the classified side, one of the things that is really hard to balance is we have a lot of departments that are either fully funded or mostly funded by grants, especially in the DO. A lot of our centralized services are not in the unrestricted general fund. So when we extend the early retirement incentive, we will see reductions across the board, but it might not necessarily be in the areas where we have the opportunity to do a reorganization or restructure through attrition. Those are positions we would hire back, and because they're being funded by restricted grants or they're not even in the general fund altogether, it does make it a little bit more challenging versus on the certificated side, like for example, all of our general education teachers are funded out of our unrestricted general fund. We are still in the process of doing a study through Keenan of looking at a different type of early retirement incentive that we're hoping to bring to the board with a report in the next couple months. And for that, we are looking for next year if that could be extended to both certificated and classified.
Okay, so there's unfortunately nothing in the works this time around?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Do you know more or less how many classified would be retiring if they're eligible to?
I do not know that.
You don't know that one?
We haven't looked, I looked specifically at our certificated staff, but we haven't gone through the numbers with our
Classified staff. Okay, cool. Do you think we could get that number just to see who would be eligible for that and just to see what the number is?
Yeah, I can work with Pam to get that.
Okay, cool. And then if, let's say, out of the retirements that we're offering, like 5 of them don't take it, and we have 5 classified, would we be able to reallocate that over to the classified staff since those retirements weren't taken? I know. I'm trying to figure out where the loophole's at.
So if you remember, the number 30 was removed or modified in this new MOU. So we are taking as many as come in.
Okay, so
We won't have any left over.
We won't have any left over. Okay, I'll start buying scratchers and hopefully figure it out. Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other? Trustee Esqueda.
I think a couple days ago, we got an email regarding adult education teachers not being available for this incentive. Is that correct?
That is correct, but it has been switched, so it's all certificated staff. Adult ed teachers are considered certificated staff members. So we currently have one adult ed teacher who's wanting to retire. He qualifies for this, so he now will be eligible.
Okay, yeah, perfect, because I think he's the one that reached out. So I just wanted to make sure that, okay, thank you.
And he's been notified too.
Oh, good. So that was the one that reached out. Got it. Okay.
He will be eligible provided that it passes.
I make a motion that we approve this.
I will second again to. All right. Okay, I'm sorry. When I had questioned, asking that this one specific employee be included, I got an explanation. But I'm glad to see that it's been amended to include that, so I won't get into that. But who had the motion? I'm sorry. Trustee Navarro made a motion to approve. Okay, who had the second? Okay, Trustee Flynn had the second. All those in favor?
May I make one comment first? I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Trustee Turley.
You know, he's been a band teacher at one point in time, and we need a band teacher. So if you wouldn't mind asking him if he would do that for a year, that'd be
in his spare time and retirement.
Fortunately, in here, there are some things where you can't come back.
We're hiring at Cabrillo, so we could use them.
Okay, so we have a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion passes 6-0-0-1. And
Thank you very much.
thank you. Okay, I will now move us on to item 12.6. Election of a representative to the CSBA Delegate Assembly. Report will be presented by Dr. Heather Contreras, Superintendent of Schools.
Yeah, set the timer. So this is to have every year we have someone who attends the CSBA Delegate Assembly. It is one person from this board who is selected to be on the Delegate Assembly. And so here's a description of what that person does. And it would be by someone volunteering who's interested to be on that, or if someone from this board would like to nominate someone to serve on the Delegate Assembly, you could do that. You could see that, what some of the delegate pieces are.
On this one specifically, we're voting for them.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
person to vote.
You have to vote. It will be a roll call, won't it? Or just a nomination?
No, there's already someone on it, and we're voting for that person.
Oh.
There's already someone on it?
Yes.
Who is it?
It's one of the attachments.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Where is it? Can we go to the attachment? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. Can you
Who's
go
on
to
it?
his attachment, his application? So this is the person that is, we are voting on this person, because Kim was ours.
Yes.
She left, so they're gonna go through that process too.
I don't know.
Maybe fill
Oh.
hers, but this is one of the delegates.
Oh, okay, excuse me.
That position.
I misunderstood the process. So Kim DeSerpa was the delegate, and it looks like someone has already been nominated from a school board, it looks like from San Lorenzo Valley's school board.
So there's only one from the county?
Is that how that's been?
There are
like
several
it's-
from our region. Kim was one of them from our region. So our region has several. In this particular case, he's already a delegate. He's an incumbent. So there's no one running against him. So you have to still vote because that's your region. At this point, no. I'm not too sure when Kim's is going to come up because she was on the same region, just happened to be from our district. But we don't necessarily, our district doesn't necessarily will always have one because there's only so many for the region, but there's more districts than delegates.
Who's this man? I'll debate him for the seat.
So we're just voting for this particular person. He has no one running against him.
Okay.
If we say no, what happens? Like, it's just like that. Like, no, okay. I don't even know this guy.
It's ceremonial, it sounds
I know.
I think
let me
going
look up his
forward,
Facebook real quick.
I
don't
think
know.
going forward, we just need to keep our eyes open for if a seat opens up again, and we need to make sure we have our applications ready, whoever would like to submit the application. But unfortunately, Mark Becker has beat us to that. And so,
And in 15 minutes to complete.
yes, and so we are now need to vote on this. Do we need to make a motion or? Yeah, make a motion, okay. Motion to approve Mike Decker as our CSBA, Mark, sorry. Oh, sorry, trustee Turley. Mike Becker, Mark Becker as our Region 9 delegate. Okay, do I have a second?
I'm looking him up.
Are you? Okay. He doesn't have a Facebook. So.
His term expires 2025.
But there was one that said vacant for our region, didn't it?
I think it's Kim's seat.
Yeah.
That's why I thought we were doing our thing, yeah.
Okay. Mark Becker is an environmental consultant specializing in the management of soil and groundwater cleanup projects and regulatory agency negotiations. He attended Humboldt State University and earned a BS degree in soil science from Cal Poly.
Oh, Humboldt? No, that's where I dropped.
San Luis Obispo. He and his wife Lori have one son that attends BCE, San Lorenzo Valley Middle School, San Lorenzo Valley Unified School District Charter Homeschool, and will graduate from Coast Redwood High School in 2017. His experience as an active parent in the district includes volunteer work in the classroom and theater, serving on the BCE and San Lorenzo Valley Middle School Site Council, Measure O Bond Oversight Committee, and the treasurer of the Charter Family Boosters. He's an avid champion of public education and a wide range of programs and opportunities that the district provides to students. His term is 2022 to 2026. So why are we voting on him? Sorry? It says his term is 2022 to 2026.
Is this a CSBA giving this? CSBA, come on, y'all.
Sorry, if we have this wrong and we do still need to delegate someone from our board to this, to Kim's spot, can we bring this back to the next board meeting?
Or can we do it now, our person, if there happens to be a vacancy?
Should we table this?
Yeah.
Should we table this meeting?
This is due by March 17th. Our next meeting is March 26th. So if you want to do it, and like that, I can make sure that we can still nominate for Kim's vacancy. At least we have that.
Yeah, can we do that tonight also?
Yes, we can. And then
So should we do
I will
both?
double check if we can, if her vacant, there's a vacancy for her position.
Okay.
I nominate trustee Flores.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
I nominate myself.
I nominate myself.
Okay.
I nominate trustee Turley. I just nominated you. You can.
Next year I would like to go.
Okay, I nominate trustee Carrasco.
I have a 5-year-old.
Yes, yes. Okay, so.
Maybe in a few years.
Just for some clarification, are we not going to vote on Mark? We're just going to vote on,
I think we should vote.
well, we didn't really, but.
I thought we did. It seems like a moot point.
Yeah, he's already, from what we can see, he's on the board. Okay, so we have 5 people nominated. Those who want to accept their nominations or accept, please go ahead and give your statement. We'll start with trustee Medina.
Yeah, I think seeing that we're going to be having discussions with John Laird and Robert Rivas. Robert Rivas being from Salinas and somebody that I know, and also John Laird, who I've talked to on many occasions, as somebody who has a very strong skill set in rhetoric and philosophy and just generalized ways of approaching the world and thinking in a new way. I think that I would be great for this. We don't have too many millennials. I was looking at how it's skewed, and it's usually Gen X or higher, so we don't have that much representation from my generation or Gen Z within the CSBA. So I think this would be a really good opportunity for a fresh voice to come in and also just really advocate for our community. Being from Pajaro, you know, I definitely know what I could be asking for in terms of our facilities, getting more support, and seeing that John Laird is in love with education. I think we could really get some resources over here if I were sent over there, and I like debating people, so I think that would be really helpful. Y'all cool?
Okay.
But I can't afford a house, that's the thing.
Now.
I claim X, even though I'm technically.
Okay, we will move on to trustee Navarro.
Oh, I was going to say trustee Turley, do you accept the nomination?
Trustee Turley, do you accept or
the
decline?
nomination?
You decline. Trustee Carrasco,
I respectfully decline.
okay. And I will also respectfully decline. I'm sorry. I love that. I was nominated, however, I think I have my hands full right now. So trustee Navarro.
I think no matter who we decide to represent us, will be represented well. I will say that I have some extensive experience advocating in Sacramento on behalf of, ACEP, which is the American College of Emergency Physicians, and do have some relationships with some of our leadership already. I have a relationship with John Laird and Robert Rivas just because of my work in Salinas, and I have also interacted with Don Addis. And so I have some experience in this regard, and I'm attending the Legislative Leadership Action Week next week. So like I said, no matter what way we go, I think we'll be fine.
Can we have co-chairs?
Yeah. Okay, so we had, trustee Medina was nominated first, so do we need to make a motion and a, okay, so do I have a motion to approve? So trustee Turley moves to approve the nomination of trustee Medina.
I'll second.
Trustee Flynn seconds. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Okay. Yes, okay. So it looks like that passes 5-0-1-1. Represent us well, trustee Medina.
You got it.
Oh. Not if it passes, yeah. I know, I would vote yes as well. Well, the first one didn't pass, so that's why, yeah. So,
Sweet.
I know. Okay, and now before we move on to item 13, can I ask for an extension of the meeting? Because we do still have item 13, and we do still have to reconvene to close session.
I did that before and I was too short, so would you have a recommendation of how long we think those items?
I think midnight would be fine.
Okay, I move that we extend the meeting until 12:30.
Okay, I have a first. I have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Trustee Navarro seconded. Any abstaining? Motion passes 6-0-0-1. Okay, and now I will move us on to our report and discussion item. Item 13.1, PVUSD Virtual Academy Transformation, integrated program serving our students across the district. Report will be presented by Heather Gorman, Interim Executive Director of Student Services.
Good evening again. I'm so happy that I'm not saying good morning. I was like, yes. So I will go quick through this, but good evening, President Flores, Dr. Contreras. Yes, I am here to present on a transformation of Virtual Academy. When you look at the rules from CDE around what to do when you're closing a school, you are required to do a report and then come back for an action item. So even though Virtual Academy, it doesn't seem like it's a school, it is a school with its own ID number, so we have to actually look at it like closing a school. But I'm not actually saying that it's going to go away. So every student is a positive contributing member to our community, our vision and mission. And then our strategic goals, fostering ongoing learning opportunities for staff, families, and partners to enhance knowledge is some of the things that I picked out from here. So to better align with strategic goals and support diverse learners, we propose shifting Virtual Academy from a standalone school, and right now it is 8 through 12, to a TK-12 program. Integrating with students' home schools. According to CDE guidelines, a district should provide a report to the board, which is what I am doing now, and regarding the school closure. Typically, schools close due to financial constraints, but that's not why we're looking at this. We're looking at this to provide additional opportunities for our students in a unique way as we look at the closure of PCCS. So, impacts on students and special populations. This is another requirement from CDE to really look at how is this going to impact this closure. And really, because it's not a full closure, the proposal is that it's going to be coming back. We still will be serving students with special needs. We'll be serving our students English language learners. So, that's going to continue. Changes to the Virtual Academy. Really, we're looking at key benefits and looking at all of our students will be enrolled in their home school, and that's their school of residence. And I just want to make sure that people know that that's, where you live close to, you will enroll there, but the program will still be happening with the teacher from Virtual Academy or whatever we decide to call it, because it will be combined with PCCS, and they will have that program at the district office. So we really want to look at, though, the benefits of taking the students and enrolling them at their home school and giving them access to what their home schools have to offer if they choose. And so I think that's the biggest benefit that we have here. You have that, you can do a typical model, or you have access to after-school programming, you have access to sports, you have access to classes and activities like prom that you can do at your school. So there's more possibilities. We're looking at all of this, but that's what we're thinking as we build this program. So we really want to make this commitment that there's 3 teachers there right now and about 43 students, whereas PCCS has more teachers and about 130 students. So we'll expand the program. We're hoping to expand it even further. But again, like I presented last time, this is the minimum that we have to do. These are the must-dos if you have an independent study program. So when you're looking at it, like I went over like the TK to the 3rd grade, but in 7th and 8th grade, there's 15 minutes every day of online and then 1 hour each week. What we have as the notes are suggestions for programs, things that can be used, but we'll have to look at what are those programs and how are they being used. PCCS already has curriculum that they're using. Virtual Academy has curriculum that they're using. We'll look at what best is going to support our students moving forward. And so again, I put this in just to show that, I'm saying, and I've met with the Virtual Academy teachers, I've met with the principal of Virtual Academy, we've sent letters out to parents to tell them that this is happening. So as we are looking at this, I'm sharing this information with them also and talking about, okay, how is this going to work? So we'll have a real good guideline about how do you enroll your student? What does that look like? What are the things that we're going to do? What are the things you're going to get to do? Meeting with the principals at the sites. I've also talked to leadership about this to make sure that they know that this is moving forward, because this does affect all of the school sites and the principals. And so notification will be sent to families and other stakeholders. We've done that. The intentional planning, we will look at how we're going to provide this smooth support so that the students aren't going to, even though it's going to be a change, they're hopefully not going to feel the change that much, except for maybe that they're going to get to have some other opportunities. Administrative steps will occur to close the school, because we have to do that because we're technically closing this as a school. We're creating a program, and so that's the difference of what it's called. Groundwork and activity collaboration with school sites will begin, and then there will be an action item brought back on March 26th so that you can vote to say, yes, we hopefully will agree to close this school and open it as a program.
Before there's public comments or questions, I do want to speak to this a little bit. I think it was my very first week of being in PVUSD, and we were starting to have different awards ceremonies. I think it's like Seal of Biliteracy that happened that first week, the Innovator Awards, which Kat Bermudez talked about with the Education Foundation, and I was starting to have my very first opportunities of interacting with parents in the community. And after one of those awards assemblies, a group of parents came and approached me, and they were parents from the Virtual Academy. And they were very upset because they had heard that the Virtual Academy was going to be closing for their junior high students. And I was like, what's Virtual Academy? Well, I was like learning about it. And so right away the next day I started asking questions. Tell me about Virtual Academy. What is this? These parents are upset. And I was told that it was progressively being closed down, that it had opened during COVID and that progressively the grade levels were being closed, and that indeed the junior highs were being slotted to be closed, and these parents were very upset about that. So then I started exploring Virtual Academy and what was happening with it, and as Heather stated, there are currently 43 students, 3 teachers, a principal, And that's not really self-sustaining with 43 students. And so instead of looking at, well, let's just close the school, close the program, I think that if we look at having it be a program that we can attract enrollment to our district, that we can offer our families who were like approaching me saying, we need this, our students need this, to our district, and we can offer our students something above and beyond what Virtual Academy was doing, which is giving this online opportunity, which also offers our employees a model that they enjoy because they want to teach online. This online works for them, as we have a teacher in the classroom, in our audience who enjoys that as well. So it's something that serves our employees with a different model. It serves our families with a different model and program option. But this way expands the program by allowing the families to have some additional choices with how involved they become with a school. For a lot of families, if you're on a virtual programming, you don't get to do athletics. You don't get to do a club. You don't get to do prom. And you maybe don't get to walk for graduation, 8th grade promotion, those types of things. And so this brings that opportunity because it's a program rather than a school. It also doesn't have all of the compliance parts of having a school. So I think it will help to do a variety of different things for employees, for families, as well as attracting people to our district and making us a destination district for a lot of people. So I think it's an exciting opportunity. Heather's done a really great job exploring all of this. Julie Edwards has played a really big part. And although it's closing something, and right now we don't make any votes, it's just the first steps. I think that this is another one of those creative imaginings that has a lot of potential for our district.
And just one comment on that too. I know that we have students that go to SCCOE programs where they're looking for an independent study program, where if we had this and it was open and we're attracting, that they would want to stay here and go to a program like this. So, yeah, and
Okay.
so, yeah, this is the report. There's no action item to be taken tonight.
Okay, just some, we have no public comment tonight, but do we have any comments from the board?
Have the principals of the traditional schools been notified that this is happening and that they'll have these students and everybody's kind of on board and knows what's happening?
Yes, at our leadership meeting on Thursday last week, we did discuss this. I think there is still going to be some work that needs to be done, just to what exactly does this look like? What does it mean for me? Once we kind of started talking about it, there was a lot of questions. And so those are the things that I'll be charged with to make sure it's okay, you know the process, you know what's going to happen and how it's going to work. And also to make it smooth for the students, because I know when I talked to PCCS, they said, we had these opportunities, but it never seemed to work. But I think if you're actually connected to the school in this way, it will be smoother so that it can work.
Trustee Medina?
Cool. I would love if, when you guys are building this out, to really consider students and the workforce. I know a lot of students who went through PCCS didn't quite frankly go straight to a 4-year, in the students that I was working with. So I'm curious if we could put in a component where they're able to do an apprenticeship like that gentleman came in and talked about, or an internship, so that way they are prepared to go into the workforce if that's something that they want to do. I don't think we do enough of that, and I'm hearing a few students having to choose between going to school or going to work. And if we can integrate that in some way to get students that experience, so that way when they graduate and go to the workforce, it's not like, oh, what experience do you have? I was just an ASB. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But I found out the hard way, you can't just list ASB. So having that real work experience, I think, would really benefit those students. And if we could integrate that with the virtual academy, I think that would be great. So I just wanted to throw that idea out.
I think that's a great comment, absolutely. And that's one of the things that's nice about this model is it does allow the flexibility, and it's something that, like, even as I've been talking to Nellie, some students like leave school or drop out of school because they have to work. And so this allows for that flexibility too for students who are seeking that or even have to do that.
Yeah, and even for our migrant students, right? Would they be equipped with like a laptop so when their parents are off season, they would be able to?
Yes.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Love that.
I don't know that, Trustee Flynn?
And
Anybody mentioned that it will
we didn't
help
have any, sorry, we didn't have any public comment for this item. Yeah. Sorry,
with
Trustee
ADA
Flynn.
as well.
I'm sorry, can you restate your question about ADA?
That like even what you were saying, Trustee Medina, about a migrant family, them being able to continue their studies, or if somebody is having to work and study, that it will positively affect our ADA. Is that correct? Yeah.
It allows for the student to be able to continue under those circumstances as well, as long as they have access to internet, which are things that we would be able to explore. How do we help them to get that access so that they can continue their education?
I just hope all of our students don't go into it and then like we all know they're like in Mexico chilling, you know what I mean? So a lot of us did that during COVID, so I'm just.
There are safeguards, and there were some things on there where, if you don't do that daily check-in, you're out. Yeah. So there are safeguards, and that was one thing I think that was lessons learned during COVID for the safety of students and for the safety of really making sure that they are getting a good education that have to be fulfilled, and that stands in it as an agreement. And as soon as those are violated for the sake of the student and their education, that then we have to return them to a regular education setting.
And they have some requirements, even though it's an online program, of at least 3 times a year to have in-person meetings so that they have to come in, and that's part of the independent study program.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion from the board? Okay, seeing none. I am going to move on to item 14, reconvening to closed session, but I would like a 10-minute recess so that we can use the restroom. So Joy, if you wouldn't mind putting 10 minutes on there so we can use the restroom, and then we will reconvene to closed session. Thank you. I'm on the wrong. Hello and thank you. We are back from closed session, and we do have one readout from closed session.
On item 2.6 liability claim, we voted 6001 to approve. To reject, excuse me.
Okay, thank you. And with that, our next board meeting is on March 26, 2025, and I now adjourn our meeting at 12:09.
Where did this book come from?
Bill Beecher, I guess, it has a little note in there.
Bill Beecher.
Yeah. Do you want these? I found them for you. I already did it. Yeah, I have all this.
Did you read it out already?
I did.
Oh, you did, okay.
The meeting's adjourned.
Okay, we already turned.
We only needed 4 seats in the, 4 butts in the seat.
He actually is a really great guy. I need you to sign this.
Chill guy.
Yeah.
When he came after my house.
I need you to sign, Trustee Navarro.
I'm like, you know what?
And I don't know, I mean, I
Karma's going to go with you in about 15 years, so I'm good.
It's like from leadership. I don't know, I'll look for it. But it was like leadership associates gave it to us for each candidate, and it kind of broke it down. It was interesting. I'll look for it.
You're the board clerk.